All right. Good. So, just gonna finish off the second half of the event tonight.
Oh, che silenzio
Just let
qui.
me
Non pensi che potresti perderti tutto il divertimento che c'è là fuori?
do this real quick. Forgot to do it earlier.
ツリーハウスを作ってみませんか？
And what else? I'm actually out of this pink stuff, I think. I haven't been out of material in a long time. I'm gonna need 8. Don't I have vouchers?
よく休めましたか、ドクター。
Hold on. Yeah, I do.
The corridors in roadsides and are so wide. 休めるときはしっかり休養をとってね。
Maybe I could talk to the other doctors on base.
Take you out of here.
ツリーハウスを作ってみませんか？
7-6. Alright, anyways. Alright. Let's
よ
finish
く休めま
this.
したか、ドクター。
And oh my god, my sanity. And see what is up. Everything's a bit confusing so far. I mean, I got it, what's going on, but I'm curious to see how it's gonna wrap up the whole story thing going on. But anyways, all right. Dragonfire, please bring back the other red dragon. Other than that, I asked for nothing more. I'll probably just swap to my regular squad. I played with this last time, so I'll just bring something random. Went to Legia. I want the module her, but I kind of want to wait for the second mod. I don't like this mod. I'll play with Chen. Irene. Let's see. Gonna read. And yeah, we'll leave that to you. Why not?
勝利を守りし英雄たちよ。その
Oh,
祝
I need a
福
vanguard.
を賜らんこと。
Probably Ness, but that's fine. It's not gonna be too hard anyways. Was that another trick of the shadows? This isn't the right way. I'm going in circles. I can't see the sky. How long has it been? How far do I still have to go? Well, I'm in the dark woods at least. The mist and noise Bridget was talking about didn't keep me out. Tricky Fae, shadows pointing the wrong way, foul beasts that trip you with branches. That's all more or less the same as when I was bringing Morin and the others back. The trees are too tall, and the leaves too thick. They block out the sky, making the life here different from outside. This is the right path. I'm at the heart of the Dark Woods now. The scenery seems different from before. Where did the red and gold autumn go? Why does it look like this? The black mist. So the woods are rejecting me after all. Loshani grabs her weapon tightly. If Nemos was right, the Dublin never returned after leaving the city. That they were most likely swallowed by the mist. But it shows no signs of aggression. It simply lingers. Does it reject me? No, it's closer to indifference. Disappointment? Why? There is no answer except the rustling of leaves. Loshani shakes her head and cautiously goes around the mist, choosing a path that looks like it has a light at the end. The mist remains indifferent to her passage. The Fae that delight in leading travelers astray are nowhere to be seen. Another dead end. No time to waste here. I'm sorry, but I'll have to burn the way through. You're overthinking it. Who's there? Take a guess. You, how could it be? You're that gentleman from the city. I wanted to ask you something, but you... Indeed. Hardly the most amicable of partings. Since then, I've been following and watching you for a while now, considering a way of reflecting on myself. I'll admit you're not quite what I thought, but this is no time for small talk. Do not burn the trees. It should be enough to illuminate them with your fire. See for yourself what they really are. What they really are? The leaves are razor sharp, the brambles are hard, and the branches have a metallic gleam. What is this? That's not important. What's important is that your fire can't burn through it. Now follow me. Hurry before the black mist changes its mind. We can talk later, but if that thing is in a bad mood, there won't be anything left to bury when it's done with you. I wonder if it's like a fair in mud, by chance. Isn't that a dead end? Why do you put so much faith in what you see? Just listen to move. This is the path I took when we came to Nasiyorsi. So this is where these trails lead. If you don't mind me asking, are you in the forest, Fae? Don't be ridiculous. I have nothing to do with them. The woods, though, centuries have passed, but it's hardly changed at all, other than the black mist. Ruins the view, really. We'll be out of the dark woods soon. Now, could you... This is really... What's happening? Look behind you. Reed. Reed, we're here. The refugees appeared on the well-lit edge of the woods. What happened in the city? As if the black mist got angry the moment you entered it, cutting it off from the outside. It's been days since anyone went into the dark woods. A few people were hunting on the outskirts when they heard sounds from within and saw what looked like fire. Whenever something similar happened before, the wakeman told us not to approach the woods. This time, though, we recognized your fire. We could hardly ignore it. You shouldn't have come. It's dangerous here. Then you shouldn't have either. Not on your own. We all learned our lesson about letting you go off alone after waiting for you in the marshes outside Londinium. We trust you, so please trust us back. Thank you. You're welcome. Let's go back to camp. Sir, would you... Yeah, he's gone. Who are you talking to? Is there someone else with you? The red dragon turns around, but her uninvited companion has already vanished without a trace, like the dew under the morning sun. Thank you for providing refuge for these people. Nemos entrusted them to us. We simply did our part. On behalf of the Wakeman, I promise we will not reveal your existence to anyone unaware. You have seen with your own eyes that your people are safe. Now it is time for you to leave. What do you mean? Is she not welcome here? Neither are your people, Moran. Whenever two red dragons meet, endless conflict awaits. If you insist on involving yourselves in it, then we can no longer offer you sanctuary. How could you? This is how we have always been. The Wakemen neither start nor end conflicts. The disputes of the living are not of our concern. We watch over only the souls of the departed. If you are truly the noble and compassionate leader Moran imagines you to be, you will not drag these innocents into your battle, Red Dragon. This isn't a battle between two red dragons. I came to seek your help on behalf of the people of Nasa-Yorsi. Every battle has its reasons. It's not an excuse. Reed wouldn't do that. Excuse or not, the disputes of the living are none of our concern. A hard-learned lesson, those bitter fruits we continue to taste to this day. Now leave. What if I'm here to ask you to hold a funeral? A funeral? In that case, the Wakemen will welcome you, but for that and only that. Now tell me the name of the departed, their deeds and knife, and present the remains. His name was Kulan. He was a blacksmith. Kulan? How did he die? The purple flames of death took both his life and his will. Not even my flames can help him now. Then why is it that not a single denizen of Nasa-Yorsi has come to request a funeral since the city became independent? So it transpires that the first Nasa-Yorsian to be mourned since the end of the war was not taken by war at all. So I weave the straw into a ring like this. Yes, then adorn it with these flowers, and the wreath is complete. I remember when the farmers put a wreath on your head, praying for a good harvest next year. Feels like old times. I miss that. Are you not happy here? I rather enjoy it myself, but the others might find it stifling. The life of a Wakeman is almost like a self-punishment after all. What's your word for it again? Asceticism? No alcohol, no overeating, no fancy foods. Can't even laugh too loud. They wake up before sunrise and sleep after midnight, and everything in between is some ritual or another. At least they don't expect the same from us, but there's no avoiding them when we have to help out on the farms and stuff. I've practically forgotten how to laugh. Ha. Morin's the only one who goes out of her way to talk to them. She's learning something new every day. Might be how they tie certain knots. Might be how to estimate the age of a tree. Compared to the Wakemen and the Tales, though. Your Highness, ma'am. I did not expect to find you here working with them. Reed has always been like this. Should we excuse ourselves? No. I simply came to confirm the facts of the departed life. For the purpose of the ritual. Please tell me, what happened to Kulan? I will tell you all that I saw, as I saw it. I hope it makes you feel something. Oh, that was a shorter note. Seems we got like a shorter story this time around.
Embers will hide our footsteps.
I'm listening. Don't. Nothing can mask the scent of despair.
Same battlefield, different day.
How was that?
Eyes blind by hatred.
That's why somebody's yellow. Thicket? Shield and wall? Oh, hey, it's these guys again.
Enough. Time to end this.
Wow, look at that.
Enough. Time to end this.
be destroyed?
Eyes blind by hatred.
Curious.
Oh. Oh dear. Don't choke on your own blood now.
Enough. Time to end this.
Nice. I have already dismissed all the servants in the citadel. These footsteps, then. Your Highness. Oh, it's you. Did you need something? You're going to ask how I returned? No, I won't. You came back. That's all that matters, my loyal servant. Besides, I have a fairly good idea what sort of guest you can bring me. Has the curfew started? Just now. Could you say that my orders have been followed? Failure. Failure? Nasiyorsi is here. I am here. What's failure? Escape. The Dylan in Samhain. Surely the Black Mist remembers this, even if it's hardly known for being a good listener. Unsurprising. Disappointing. Unacceptable. Am I meant to understand something from these few words? Or perhaps you too prefer the directness of art and destruction to the precision of language. No sooner do the words leave Eblana's lips than the gleaming branch thrusts forwards from the dark mist, reaching for her throat. At the same time, her spear penetrates the thick mist. Purple fire is faintly visible from within. She can bring it away to nothingness with a thought. But the branches never find Eblana's throat, and her purple flames never ignite. Samhain. By the time the sun rises on the day after Samhain, the outcome will be plain for all to see. So, why do we dispense with these meaningless bluffs? Eblana's spear still impels the mist, but the branches before her throat disappear a moment later, as do the flames at the tip of her spear. The dark mist dissipates. Your Highness, you're still here. Do you need something else? This is about Dublin. There are only the two of us here. I will permit you to speak that word again, my most loyal servant. Thank you, but there's no need. Spectres are but spectres. Or specters. Even if they help fund the nation, there's no place for a ghost in the history books. But I worry about my colleagues who stayed behind that day, as I did. Where are they? Could they mean you harm? No need to worry. Even if they were, that is no reason for you to risk staying here. I saw a scene of chaos on my way back. It was bedlam. People were fighting over the tiniest things, sometimes nothing at all, while others seemed to be stuck where they stood like statues. Just like the specters who fought the Victorians with us. Were they faded to darkness too? This is Nasiyorsi, the Red Dragon's lair, the capital of Tara. Anything that happens here will have repercussions across the nation. No, it won't. You don't sound convinced. Your Highness, at the end of the day, I have just one question. One question I pray you will answer. Very well, I will forgive your imprudence. Your Highness Eblana, that future you promised Dublin, you promised Tara, the future where all Tarans could freely write their own dreams. Was it all a lie? The Brigadier could not stop himself from trembling. The fear that had lurked in his heart for days overcomes him. It is not because he fears his own end. He is not afraid of being swallowed by the dark mist like his colleagues, or of invoking the Red Dragon's wrath. He fears that he will hear an answer he dare not consider. It was true, every word of it. Your Highness, I have answered your question, Brigadier. The Red Dragon's voice seems ethereal, feeble even, but it leaves no room for questioning. It is the voice that has led the men to victory countless times, So he slowly straightens his back. Then I trust you. Perhaps. Or perhaps you simply have no other choice. Often have you chosen a path that seemed baffling, impossible even. But it always ends up leading us closer to our dream. Of that I have no doubt. Such a deep trust is indeed worthy of my gratitude. However, it did not require you to maintain the order within Nasiyorsi. If you manage to return from the dark woods, then you should return there now. Until Samhain has passed. Or, I stepped into the dark woods one morning, calling to the mists of horror. Your Highness, do you hear the sound coming from beyond the woods? Hardly a day has passed since you left. Fine work, Low Shiny. Is that what's been happening in that city? Reed, your sister, what is she planning? I don't know. Someone once told me her plans would only ever be beneficial to Tara. Now though, I can trust neither her nor the one who made that promise. Are you still not going to help her, Wake Woman? She came for our funeral, and we will only accept her for that. I have learned of the deeds of the departed. Bring the knots and wreaths and come outside. The funeral is about to begin. The people set aside their differences and stand up in silence. I stepped into the dark woods one morning, caught into the mist of horror. I trod upon the road heading out to war. No pipes are singing nor battle drums roar. Only the bells behind me through dew fog their rings do soar. The wake men sing softly, each attending their own duty. Some adorn the coffin with knots and wreaths. Some leave firewood and kindling around it. Some distribute candles to the attending refugees as they continue to sing. Tiny lights begin to sway throughout the camp. Low Shiny has a candle too, which she carefully lifts in front of her chest. Excuse me, go ahead. I didn't know the departed. I don't really have much to say. But where I grew up, people talked freely at funerals. Certainly, this is a tyrant's honor to the departed. Life should be celebrated, even after its end. The joy of the living is consolation to the dead. You are free to talk amongst each other. I also made some snacks. Please feel free to share them. We will also provide refreshments later. However, we must request that you exercise restraint, considering that Mr. Kulan died before his time, and under unfortunate circumstances. We must also ask you to follow our instructions during the fire returning ceremony. Understood. Is this how your folks hold funerals, Moran? We didn't have all these rites and ceremonies. All we did was keep watch through the night. No clue what this fire returning thing is either. Kids would just follow their instructions. Have you ever been part of a ceremony like this, Reed? I see. You mean, Low Shiny has found the Wakeman. The hero's funeral has begun. I stepped into the dark woods one morning, caught into the mist of horror. I trod upon the road heading out to war. Do you know this song? You already know the answer. I lead the young into battle with it more than a few times. The singer? Who is it? Who's singing? Why is it that I still hear that song here at the side of the old capital, even after I skipped the dark woods? Or am I still stuck in the woods? No. The sound is coming from the furnace at the center of the ruins. Such a beautiful tune. No pipes are singing, no battle drums roar. Only the bells behind me through dewy fog their rings do soar. I should go back. Now I see what I truly want. Besides, do I really deserve to escape Nasiyorsi? Hey TNK, how's it going? Here, Emma, today's bread. Thanks for sharing your food at times like these. You shared it with me before, just returning the favor. But why do you keep staring at the bread in my hand like that? Control yourself, control yourself. She's Emma, the one who shared bread with you. You must help her, you must. Fine, Emma. I just meant to say, you've been bedridden for so long. There'll be tough times ahead. Why are you singing that? Someone's singing in the distance. So everyone's hearing the song. Friends of the departed, please present your eulogy before the fire returning ceremony begins. Read? I have a eulogy here, written by Nenos. May I read it? Of course, go ahead. Dear Kulan. A letter. Kulan, perhaps it won't be long before I join you. Kulan, perhaps it won't be long before I join you, before I become a slave of the purple flame, before I turn to ash. Perhaps it won't be anyone to free me from an afterlife of eternal torment. But I've never forgotten what you said to me. You said you wanted to be a hero. You asked me to let you become one. You said Nasa Yorsa needed a hero for the post-war days, one who belonged only to us, neither double nor soldier. Can I add you as a friend? Oh, sure. Do I know my thing by heart? Let's see. Here we go. I'm gonna type in the chat. If you want to add me, my tag is that right here. I'll make sure to accept you after this. There we go. Oh. You said Nasiarese needed a hero for the post-war days, one who belonged only to us, neither Dublin nor soldier. You said that nearly everyone in the city had lost something important in the war, be it partner, child, or a future. Without a hero, an exemplar to understand them and fight for their rights. One who would also set them right should they go astray. Without that, they wouldn't have anything to hold on to when the war ends, when they have no one left to hate. I agree that I said this to your request. You took Theo in and helped the people who lost their livelihoods. You already added me? Alright. I'll make sure to accept that after this cutscene. You thought everything was on the right path, so you proposed a statue. You became fully immersed and took on a great burden. By the time you realized, it was too late. Now it is my turn to carry this burden, one too heavy for any single person to bear. Now it is my turn to carry this burden, one too heavy for any single person to bear. Farewell, Kulan. Slant liet, or should I say, slango foyed. Probably butchered that. May we meet again in the warm flames. Oh wow. Ooh, I like the oil painting look. As she finishes, a flame is thrown into the kindling surrounding the coffin, igniting the firewood. The crowd gathers around the bonfire, following the instructions of the wakeman. Witness that the departed has found peace in flames. He shall no longer wander the mortal realm. Place your candle as close to the fire as possible, and throw it in directly. Return the fire to the departed. If you have anything to say to the departed, say it aloud to the flame, be it praise or reproach. They are the memories that will console the departed at journey's end. Once you have returned the fire, please remain to keep watch over his soul until the fire has gone out. Let us begin. Silently may you find rest, stranger, deceiver and hero. Morin bends down and places her candle by the fire. The licking flames swallow it in an instant, almost burning her hand. Do you want to come closer to the fire, Reed? If there's anyone here who doesn't deserve to pay respects to Kulan, it would be me. You couldn't have saved him. Moran. There was no place for him in the Red Dragon's lair from the moment he made the choice to truly become a hero. You should return the fire to him. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, let the dead rest with our memories as life goes on. Return the fire. Let the dead rest with our memories as life goes on. While Loshane is lost in thought, the others continue to return their fire and then sit down with some distance from the bonfire until she's the only one left with a candle in her hand. I do wonder if Kulan's kind of craving to be a hero came from him, like maybe coming from Minos, or if I'm just looking too much into it, because I know they have like a hero culture over there. She walks forward in silence and tosses the candle into the blazing bonfire. The dead are gone. All their ambition, obsession, realization, and desperation turn to fading smoke and silent ash in the flames.
挑戰我？你哋邊度嚟嘅自信啊？
Alright.
よく休めましたか、ドクター。
There you go. I'm assuming this is you. I gotcha. The loss. Will this path truly lead me to him? Cannot be attacked and blocks the vision of your units. Actually, I'm just curious. Oh god. Oh god, this is huge. There you are. Nice. Ooh, since 2022. The loss. Will this path truly lead me to him? See, we'll go to the city, even to perform a fire returning ceremony, which you've described as highly unusual. We cannot simply take your word that the residents are no longer among the living. Besides, the fire returning ceremony is just that, a ceremony. Do not expect it to be anything more than that. Very well then. When we return, wake woman. Thank you for your help. You tend to go back to Nasiyorsi even without us. More than the others have settled in well, and I've done that Nemos entrusted to me. And I've done that what Nemos entrusted to me, so my work here is done. Take care, Your Highness. I will. The Red Dragon sits out in the direction from whence she came. Everything that happened yesterday seems but a distant shadow now, but also a tiny spark of flame. Return the fire. Have you made up your mind to go to your death? The stranger. Good timing, sir. May we talk, if you will help me. Did your Red Dragon history lessons ever teach you about a poor wretch by the name of Labreastak? Excuse me? I'll take that as a no. After returning to the palace for the first 7 years, he never even had the chance to see his brother before the guards took him away and plunged a sword through his chest. I know the story. Then why are you so eager to follow in his footsteps and have history remember you as a fool? Leave. You've seen your sister and you're still alive. And that you've already achieved more than he ever did. The story of Lebrantak and Ailil is not the story of me and Eblana. Fine. Let's say I was willing to hear you out. What did you want to talk about? The city's fire returning ceremony. I just wanted to find someone to help with the preparations, but you seem to know a lot about the history and tales of Tara. So I was thinking you might be able to help. History, tales. We could talk on the way, come. But that's not the way to the Darkwoods. Just follow me. I worked out for you in the woods, didn't it? Or it. The ruins of the palace? I've been here before. It's dangerous. The Originium-rich environment is... You said you wanted history and tales. What better place in Tara than this ancient take it expeditive palace? Wonder what that sounds like. The what place? Ah, never mind. I appreciate your help in the woods, but I have important business to attend to. I don't have time to... What's this important business? Dying for nothing? Sure, you're different from your sister. The dragon's wings may be cursed, but her personality is as typical as they come. Arrogant, leaving no room for any other voice. You may be better, but I'm different from my sister. She's not who you say she is. But however different you may be, conflict is in the nature of the Red Dragons, even if you were merely dragged into it. And there's only ever one outcome. Only one way to emerge alive. One of you will die sooner or later, so what's the hurry? Have patience, young dragon. We're almost there. We come here for this altar. Altar? You mean that thing in the middle? Isn't that the furnace? The furnace which fused together the weapons of every tyrant soldier and overturned the fate of the dynasty. The furnace from which fallen soldiers were reborn. That's what you call it today, isn't it? Far more important than just another altar, to be sure. But an altar is an altar, even if it's a little bigger than the others. It was based on the ceremonial stone circle used to coronate the King Gael, and the palace was built around it. Whenever the old red dragon died, this is where the fire was returned to them. The fire returned? What you saw back at those Woodbrace's camp. Gotta give them credit. They managed to remember all that, even centuries later. Fire returning wasn't just about a bonfire back in the day, though. By the time of the old hag Myriad, it was enough for the siblings of the heir to the title of King Gael to put their hands into the fire and get a few blisters. Go back even further, though, and those siblings will have burned alive together, or so they say. There's no hard evidence. Now you've got even paler. He flicks his hand, and a speck of purple fire flies forth from his sleeve, joining the same purple fire in the altar. The flame breathes quietly, like an infant in its mother's embrace. Your flame is purple too? No, wait, you're a Draco? Could you be? You just realized that? Yeah, awfully slow, aren't you? Well, it's too late to run. Put your hand in. What? You want Nesayorosi to return this fire, didn't you? Put your hand in. The red dragon falls silent, then stretches out his hand to touch the flame in the furnace. As expected, it is not warm, but to her surprise it does not feel cold either. Now I brought you here to see something. The tragedy of Tara, the ill repute of the red dragons. It is simply the cruel cycle of fate repeating itself again and again. Like your sister, I was an aberration to breathe the flames of death. It is not my intention to disrespect the dead, nor could I even if I wanted to, but I wanted to show you the fate of those who die upon this land. That's still Kosuji. Is this where we should begin? Understandable. Of our recent events, it is the most significant. Your sister was right. Those who have touched the flames of death are beyond help, yet the fire should not have spread so readily. What hatred did it take for the Dracos to once again sire an ill-omened aberration, the first in 600 years? Ah, and him. If you ask me, he slept in far too late. Could hardly drag himself out of bed by sunset. Of course he became the sacrifice. Even you should not speak of the dead so lightly. Do not justify it as a sacrifice. You can only say that because you see too little. Those feelings will pass soon enough once you're used to it. See, here comes another sacrifice. The Victorians who killed you have been chased out. The last Victorian bastard died before my eyes. In a sense, your sister's dream did become a reality. The tyrants have risen, and the Victorians have fallen. Simple, direct, satisfying. Were you one of the bystanders too? Don't get caught up on that, child. You know what I am. Oh, cool. This is the CG we saw in the last event. This, I don't recognize. Explain. It was war. There are always wars. Be specific. Who did she incinerate? And what land did she set her sights on? Victoria. Eblana wanted to take Tara back from the Aslands. This was the conclusion to that war. The Aslands? Those conceited bastards. But is she not facing a sarcasm? Yeah, about that. Never mind. The Lions were the ones who stole Victoria. That's all I need to know. Ooh, we're going way back. I don't need you to tell me what this is. Just as I can tell the expression beneath the mask. The satisfaction and joy that only appear on a red dragon's visage in the face of certain death. No, that wasn't joy. It was the opposite. The opposite. Maybe you were simply gravely injured and started hallucinating on the brink of death. But as I said, this is simply repeating the past. Cities may ride on wheels now, and the master of the room has changed hands, but what's inside never changes. Oh yeah, I remember this. What is this, your home? Where did you learn to point your blades at each other? Who's this man? The Earl of Warwick, our foster father. Eblana said he helped Tyrants see hope, a hope they could see but never reach. That all he ever did was drive thirsty travelers mad with mirages. In his hand he held a delicate thread. On one end were the Tyrants who had rediscovered their name. On the other lay their oppressors who had trodden upon them for so long. That thread was my sister and I. Looking back, perhaps he was afraid to be afflicted by the purple flame. Ha. Not only do you sympathize with your sister, but you also know her well. No wonder you're so loath to kill her. But I have no intention of becoming like her. Nor will I simply allow myself to be killed. These events, this history that you had me recall, what are you trying to tell me? That the history of Tara is nothing but the continuous accumulation and recombination of ruins of the past. Which you have seen, I have too. Nothing new can be found within. What I see are not ruins, but the source of the flames. The flames in the Sayuri Sea are indeed my sister's fire, but they are also the great sorrow behind the bloodshed, left with nowhere to go. It was the war. No, the pain, the oppression, the things taken from them, which began long before the war. That's what lit the fire in their hearts. My sister shaped their sorrow into hatred, which scorched the fields of Tara and drove out the Victorians. However, without vengeance to quell the sorrow, the same fire has come back to burn them, burning away everything they have, until they are nothing but the walking dead. A fine summary, child. But do you really think that returning the fire would solve all the city's problems? It's the only path before me. True, but how do you tread it? Come, we've seen your story, now see mine. Don't cry now. It's just a cloud beast. But I raised Grey Cloud from when she was a baby. They say your fire is different, deity. You do not heal the living, but instead bring the dead back to life. They don't come back. It's just an empty shell. Even if it's just an empty shell. Please, lady. I just want to hear Great Call's voice again. And so the impulsive red dragon let his daughter's plea get the better of his judgment. After a few months, strange things began to happen, not just to the cloud beasts, but to all the beasts of the pasture. Burning beasts no longer ate grass, cysty beasts no longer gave milk, the old refused to die, the young refused to live, and bare skeletons devoid of flesh began to roam the pastures. Wow, so it really does spread like a plague. As the purple fire spreads through the herds, the red dragon was forced to leave the pasture with his people. He made the same mistake many times throughout his brief existence. The purple fire spread through the herds. What about it? Your own dear sister dared to burn people with that same fire. Now that's crazy. How was the fire extinguished? You'll find out soon enough. Was he killed by a brother? This is the Citadel in Nasiorsi, the same corridor. No, but your mistake is understandable. We simply took a large step back in time. This is how the palace you currently stand in looked 600 years ago. It's incredible how stonemasons centuries hence managed to perfectly recreate it in this Nasiorsi of yours. So what happened here? Here. Ha. Labristiak, the fool, had made too many mistakes, the likes of which you have already seen. He grew weak and felt his end coming. On the eve of Samhain, he came to see the brother he had not seen for 20 years, bearing the finest gifts his nomadic life would allow. He even convinced the druids of the city, who oversaw the festival ceremonies, to take him to his brother. Touched by his familial love, they led him into the city, but he failed to realize when his guide's silhouette, voice, and demeanor changed, not until it was too late. He was taken to this very corridor and... I thought that Ailil, who gave the order to assassinate his brother, was on that balcony on the other side of the door. My eyes were wide open until the very end, but I never saw his fire through the gaps. Where did it all go wrong? Was he angry that the priest continued to treat me as royalty? Did he consider me leaving without a word 20 years earlier a betrayal? Or was it someone else who wanted me dead, and he simply had no choice? I'll never know. Within this brief, swift act of violence, there was only one thing that I had long known, that I have never doubted. A red dragon never forgives. The hatred of the dragons is even longer than the history of Tara. Damn. But there is more I want to tell you. After I died, Ailil ordered my coffin dragged through the city, for all to see the end that befell me. And so purple fire raged through every pasture I had stayed at with my clan. Life turned its back on all who touched it, only death remained. 7 days later, the priest returned my fire to me at a clearing outside the dark woods, and only when the fire they returned to me was extinguished did the purple flames of the pasture begin to subside. It was only then that the last vestige of my consciousness that remained of the flames after death faded into darkness. All living things that touched the flames, people or beasts, were turned to ash. Your sister spoke true. The flames will continue to spread as long as she lives. But she is a typical red dragon. She is not so noble as to give up her life to save those who have yet to survive. If she is inviting you back, then it is certainly a trap. Run, call for help, yell. Find someone who is her equal to extinguish the endlessly spreading flames. That is the only way. But what if she has already decided that I'm the only one worthy to dance with her? What if I can't abandon the lives in the city to their fates, as long as there is any chance of saving them? So you return the fire to someone who's still alive? Yes. And what if that doesn't work? Regardless, I'm going back, no matter what. Silence, and then Oshiny hears a sigh. I suppose stubbornness and stupidity really are heredity. Oh, I forgot I clicked the stage.
难得去现场采风，
Ash
有什么
creation.
需要注意的吗？
Two targets, true form is revealed when inside uses attack range. Okay.
Please, trust in me. I'm listening.
War never changes.
I'm prepared to endless burn. You needn't care.
Can't destroy these.
I know what to do. Don't order me around.
비단실을 칼날에 가까이 하지 마.
Oh wow, they hurt. Okay.
타겟 록크온.
Enough. Time.
治療モード適用します。
逃げ道など必要あります。泣き
Oh, they're
叫
little
べ。
bunnies.
その脆い信念のもとで。
I was expecting something threatening.
情况如
The battlefield's all around you.
已经不错，弱智如飞。Can't just be all grown. 那下一个我想。回去了。
The battlefield's all around you. Where do you think you're running?
Oh, you come up.
If you need to calm down, I can slow your heartbeat for you. Don't better watch your step. I'm undoubling. Mission accomplished.
Must be an attack range. Yeah, I figured. This is far enough. We're already at the Wakeman camp. Your sister roused me from my slumber. You could always return me to it with your own flames if you want. Read. A golden-haired parrot leaps off the back of the burning beast and rushes towards the red dragon. The burning beast is dragging an improvised cart with numerous long wooden boxes stacked upon it. Bridget, what are you doing here? Are those coffins? Yeah, coffins. Nemo said to bring them to the Wakeman. Are they still in the ruins? Say, is there someone with you? I can smell that same burning stink. And I could swear I heard you talking just now. Oh, she could smell them. No, I'm alone. These are dead folks. The type who pull their own arms out of their sockets to bite at their imaginary enemies if you grab their hand, along with the poor wretches they tore to pieces. And Theo. They must found them in the end. It's almost like this was the natural order of things. The bonfires will be burning brightest when night falls on some height. The red dragon looks towards Nasayoshi and sees a faint shadow in the distance, painting the silhouette of purple flames. We'll be out of coffins if this keeps up. I hope Bridget made it out of the city, and that the mist in the woods is thin enough for her to follow the trail. Blast it. Kunan left a few unused weapons in his house. I can't let anyone see them. And this fuel, explosives. Her Highness Low Shiny might find a use for them. No, what's the point when every servant in the citadel has already been afflicted by the purple flames? Besides, the Greater Red Dragon has already sent them away. Almost as if she's preparing for a showdown with Her Highness. Or setting a trap. Who's there? Rory, what are you doing here? You're Nemus. Yeah, I'm going through Colin's effects. If this isn't urgent, could I ask you to... Traitor. Have you gone mad? Oh, silly me. Of course you have. We all have. Traitor. I still can't bring myself to kill them. You know, they might as well be dead already. I better drag this fellow back home. Could do without the unwanted attention. Phew. Nemos. Don't mind me, I'll be on my way. What's that in your hand? Oh, nothing. Now if you excuse me. That necklace. It was a gift from Niels to Emma. I gave her bread. That's way more valuable than jewelry in times like these. She gave it to me. Uh-oh. Did she now? A necklace she never takes off. It's none of your business. Nemos, you stayed behind. I thought all the Dubliners left the city. Don't tell me you're one of those living statues now who refuse to move or talk. I might be soon. Why did you bring them up? Samhain begins tonight, so I went through the houses of missing people and found plenty of good stuff for the party tonight. Samhain? Party? About Kulan, well, he was already on his last legs by then, and I didn't really... Let's not talk about that. Look at all this stuff. It'll be a night to remember. The woman shows Nemos her bag, revealing a bottle of curded sisti milk, a few long since sprouted potatoes, and several bare bones. Just wait for me, Nemos Kulan. We'll have a fantastic Samhain. Only when the woman has already disappeared around the corner does Nemos remember who she is. A villager who once lived on the outskirts of Nasayorsi. 2 years ago, the Victorians took her father away while investigating Dublin. The autumn harvest has just ended, and she had been preparing to celebrate the harvest festival. What Loshani hears about the situation in the city exceeds her wildest imagination. I must go back, now. Wait for me. I'll come with once I've delivered these folks to the Wakeman. Are you sure about this, Bridget? The dangers in the city. It's dangerous in the city. If I fail, there may be no survivors. True, but I still gotta go. Why? Because it wasn't like this before. The city folk never had much to spare, but they always had a cup of water for me when they delivered their letters. They didn't see me as one of their own, but they didn't walk away with a sneer when I told them nomad legends either. They listened. And they definitely didn't bite, claw, and punch at people like they do these days, like the Walking Dead straight from a story. Who would the nomads deliver letters to if the city dies for real? Moran. The second shipment of bodies has arrived from Nansayorsi. I must make the preparations. At this rate, it won't be long to the 3rd, 4th, or more. Are we really going to ignore it? As I've told you many times, the Wakemen do not take sides. It is not our decision to make. Are the Nasayorsians not tyrants too? Why are we standing on the side watching when the Terran capital is marching towards destruction? I knew you came back with the Red Dragon. You fear she will meet the same fate as Labriathtak. But we were the ones who sent Labriathtak to his doom. Not sure how to say that. Also interesting. We are descended from the priest that once officiated the ceremonies of Terra's royal palace. Our ancestors, moved by Labriathtak's plea, welcomed him back to the palace when Lil's stance was ambivalent. The flames of death that spread through the plains of Tara were only extinguished 7 days after his death, when our ancestors finally returned his fire to him. They then left the palace of their own accord, going into self-exile on Labriathtak's former pastures, so as to never forget the lesson, and thus the Wakemen were born. I'm sorry, but Reed isn't Labriathtak. Labriathtak? And history is not a cycle that repeats itself endlessly. If it were, Reed would have already died in the capital, or in that citadel. Even her tyrant of a sister was the one to free Tara from Victorian rule. Fates are often alike, but always differ where it matters most. Back to the writer. What a wonderful tagline for the cover of the book. Surely this one is destined for the best-selling charts. Assuming, of course, that you are ever able to finish the story. I've never intended to profit off of it. Oh, you will. If not in money, then in fame. The basis was the story, where it happened. There are more than enough reasons that this isn't my story to tell. Besides, what happens next? That's what I wanted to ask. Did Lo Shiny go back? From this point on, what I've seen, what I believe, and what I've said all contradict one another, which is why I've lost sight of the ending. Feel free to take up the challenge if you're up to it. Give this test between the dragon and her reflection whatever ending you please. Oh? Is it all the same if I tell it myself? Of course, ma'am, as you will it. The writer raises his mug, which is almost empty now, and toasts the woman before him. Once again, he swallows the bitter brew, half expecting the sweet aftertaste that he knows will never come. Did I spook you? You got so polite all of a sudden. It makes me feel impertinent for even pressuring the question. No, but I must make it abundantly clear that everything we have discussed until now is no more than idle chatter. You understand, don't you? The woman sits straight and does not say a word. The writer can only attempt to guess whether she is still smiling through the shadows. Well, what are you waiting for? I've nearly finished my drink. I've fallen into the same conundrum as you. If this is as far as both your references and your imagination go, how could I possibly put the Red Dragon's ultimate fate to paper? I've already said all I'm able to. I refuse to give the story an entirely fictional end, one that not even I could believe in. Even if the alternative is that there is no ending. If you don't have an answer either, then no need to waste your time here. Leave while it's still early. Is this because you do not remember, do not understand, or is it because you wish you never knew, never understood? What? What are you getting at? You've never lost sight of the ending. It would be more appropriate to say that your eyes have become clouded by too many creative liberties. Shall I recount them for you? Treasures leading people into the darkness. Kulan dragging the statue to the square by himself. And virtually everything related to the dark mist in the woods, from the rejection of Bridget, to the food carts returning to the city on their own, to Lo Shiny becoming lost in the woods, to the Brigada and Eblana spinning in the city. If these creative liberties have created the contradictions in your mind, then it is my responsibility to set them on the path towards the ending. Shall I supplement the story with my own observations? I'll take that as a yes. Perhaps that will lead you to a conclusion you can be satisfied with.
挑戰我？你哋邊度嚟嘅自信啊？
Oh, cutscene. Death of a romance. This is just a story, not a map of our future. There's no need to cry, Lo Shiny. My bad if you hear sound in the background. Where did you leave off? Ah yes, on the eve of Samhain, while the sun still hung in the sky. My little sister and niece are playing. Samhain nights bind life with death. There is no mere superstition, or perhaps you could say it has long transcended superstition. Tarot and legends speak of countless great deeds and tragedies occurring on this very night, and such tales often put the date front and center. So long as innumerable legends coincide on that day, as long as the Terrans still remember, if only vaguely, to celebrate the harvest and light up fires on that day, it will never be a simple change of season. It itself is a perfect footnote to add to any myth. Oh, and another thing. I don't suppose you'd mind if I gave the characters more fitting names, yes? The sun is leaning westward. And we're yet to figure out how to go about this final confrontation. Hello, Shiny. Why are you hiding in your room at dinner time again? Is Dad angry? No, but he will be soon. I'll be down soon. What's that on your desk? Nothing. The young dragon tries to block her sister's line of sight with her body, but her efforts is in vain. A small paper box sits on her desk, carefully lined with cotton. Inside lies a tiny foul beast, already dead but still harboring a faint, lingering warmth. It seems to have broken its leg while alive. An unsuccessful splint fashioned from stiff paper now lies in pieces around it, accompanied by a few grains of wheat. This is the foul beast that sang in my window every morning. I don't know what happened to it, but I wanted to save it and... I beg of you, sister. Tell Dad I'm only feeling ill. I'll be on set for dinner tomorrow. I'll bury it in the courtyard tonight. So you're giving up? It's already dead. Is that so? Purple flames slip past the foul beast's feather into its already cold body. The two watch as it slowly stands up, its broken leg stiffly propping itself up on the cotton. Alright. Would you like to fly or to sing a song for you? No, this isn't right, not like this. Then why didn't you use your own flames on it while it was still alive? Your Fabius could have lived much longer life. You do realize you aren't limited to how the mediocre masses do things, don't you? My mom told me to swallow my flames, hide them away, and never let them be seen. And who would see them in your own room? The young dragon looks away to avoid her sister's eyes, but finds her gaze landing on the foul beast standing on his cotton bed instead. Purple fire burns in his eyes, and even the way it tilts its head is a splitting image of her sister. Or do we perhaps still harbor unrealistic fantasies for how this could end? Sister, you're covered in blood. Were you injured? Most of it isn't mine. The Duke's spy did it profusely. I replace your bandages. Where is the Earl of Warwick? He has work to do. Yes, so he says. And as always, you take him at his word. He even allowed the spy to discuss poetry with you while he works. I thought I'd be keeping mum about our origins, as well as anything related to the Earl's vision. Everyone in this manor knows you never say a word more than necessary, and it's never been something the Earl would bother to check. That's right. We had let the spy escape. The Earl will still inevitably find a way to silence him in the dark, and we simply find ourselves bound by yet another chain called caution. I'm sorry, There's no need for you to apologize. Apologies never change a thing. Once packed with guests, the long empty parlor acoustics now amplify the sound of bandages being ripped apart, making the atmosphere even heavier. Those poems by the C.M.S. Williams you've been so into, if you can remember them, why not recite a line or two for me? The noble red dragon racks her blades for our bears that cannot rouse her sister's rage. Perhaps something related to Tara, brave warriors, or even ancient legends. But all she can recall are verses that stood aloof from worldly affairs. Or stand aloof. The land spun a strange romance, the cause of its end lost to chance ill. I am but a wandering bard, well versed in lore from songs in the woods. She sneaks a peek at her sister's face and sees no change, so she plucks up her courage and continues to recite more lines. Only when she finishes both the entire poem and the new bandage with a delicate nod does she realize that her sister has already fallen asleep, encircled by meter and rhyme. Or perhaps... Sister. Oh, hello, Shiny. You kept me waiting. What of your new friends? The wayward white woman, or perhaps a lively nomad? With your presence, any obstacles prevented you from bringing them along should have easily been reduced to naught. They're in the city, but this is a moment to be shared by us alone. Indeed. It's cold out here on the balcony, so let us continue this in the corridor. A replica of where the Bria attack died, and that's Yorsi. Why must we cling onto our inglorious history and repeat it? I see you've gained a deeper understanding of the word Tara. But if history does not repeat itself, how can we speak of breaking the cycle? It can be very difficult to tell us apart by appearance. But the moment either of us speaks, it becomes as clear as night and day. Eblana only ever steers the conversation towards her own interests, while Low Shiny is ever the polite one. She'll get to the bottom of this and find an ending. Don't interrupt me, sir. I'm talking about the characters in the story. I'm sorry, Eblana. No, I'm quite glad. You finally accepted my invitation. To dance? Yes, to dance. I'll dance with you to the end, together. However, please tell me first. The last time we met, you said you couldn't afford to wait any longer. What exactly is going on? With that same smile of hers, the older sister stands at the end of the corridor, while the younger clutches her hands together and hides in the shadows of a wall lamp, hoping the other party won't notice her heart wavering. Poor thing. She could have concluded this farewell so much sooner. You've become frail. The flames of death must have their limits. Spreading them so far would certainly drag you down as fire after fire blooms, just like Labyrinth text back then. Am I right? I see. While that ghost's fire might resemble mine, his temperament is close to yours. It seems he's helped you quite a lot. At first he only wanted to watch all of Tara burn. He was simply trying to keep it together. Just like you. The noble red dragon finally steps out of the shadows, walking forward to support his sister, who seems on the verge of being unable to stand, just like before. Is that so? And as you resemble your younger self, when you knew nothing of flames or fate, the you who tried to shield me. It has been a truly long time, Low Shiny. I remember. It was when Mrs. Murphy next door passed away. He didn't like her, but fancied the beautiful bouquet of flowers in her coffin. So you used your flames to change your body's position. I saw scorch marks on the flowers and thought you'd be scolded, so I told the parents I was the one who did it. I even fabricated a story of how I opened and closed the coffin. And so you were scolded instead. How could poor mom and dad, who couldn't even hide the flames of that family in time, possibly have noticed the faint scorch marks on some flowers? Indeed. Is that why you've always been cowering? Would you blame every decision you made in life on one unfortunate childhood experience? Huh. So tell me, sister. Tell me there's still time. I'll accompany you out of the citadel and into the square. Have the people return their flames to you. I'll walk through Tara's fields with you, and gather the dead you've intentionally or unintentionally awoken with your arts, sending them all to a peaceful rest. I'll recite poems to you while you're weak, until you fall asleep and wake up again. There's still time for all of that, yes? I trust you to keep your word. Your noble nature would be appalled at the very thought of breaking your promise. But what you just described, will that truly make you happy? Or will that simply be enough to appease the low shiny Dublin who did not even witness her parents' death that snowy night? Those beautiful fictions. Sister, love, poetry, dreams, those are all well and good, but it is time for you to wake up. Kill me. If you truly wish to end this chaos, this is the only way. Then put on the crown, and you shall become me while I become you. That is the one thing I cannot do. You have time to mull it over once I'm dead. Then did you decide not to hesitate anymore, Low Shiny? There's been no other choice for us the moment you came back to see me. The older sister's mouth curls up in an intriguing arc. Come, dance with me. Is this the dance you've been looking forward to all this time? Why can't it be? The younger sister closes her eyes as she points her spear at her older sister, whose body is about to topple over. She grips her weapon with both hands. The sharp spear tip pierces the red dragon's body, but she stands unmoved, as if nothing happens at all, until her younger sister's hand circles her waist, and her body slowly crumples, just like the end of a dance. Oh wow. Yes, I know. I should have known long ago. But why? Why must it be now? Then when? Wow, Naruto says noble and greedy. I remember that one storybook PV. Don't tell me you'd prefer to stab my heart on a fine afternoon, after meticulously dissecting every nuance of right and wrong with me. You return to me, and we dance this dance together. That's enough. I only thought, if my sorrow and hatred were thrown into the suitable flame, that eventually become the fuel for life to go on. Sorrow and hatred. So you admit it, Low Shiny. Your noble virtues only hurt you in the end. Where's your fire, sister? I can't put out your flames just like that. How you mean? The people in the city. You will die, but not now. Your flames will be extinguished at your funeral, at your fire returning ceremony. But still, you ought to be dispelling death with scorching flames, rather than holding the hand of the dead and confessing your own inner turmoil, your own regrets. Otherwise, you will only ever be as you are now, letting go of your chance to save everything. Your final chance. Notice the flower too. The noble red dragon loses her grip in shock, and her sister's body drops to the ground, as cold as it was before her heart was pierced. It is not blood, but purple flame fire that roars from the wound, spanning her entire torso. It instantly floods the balcony and flows down to the citadel. The noble red dragon rushes over to the balcony, but the purple flames of death are even faster. Before her own flames can emit even the tiniest spark of light, the purple fire spreads across the city, burning the whole of Nasiyorsi. The last time she looked down from this very spot, the flames were scattered like stars in the sky. When she had returned earlier that day, they coated the whole city with a cold and gloomy hue. And now, Nasiyorsi itself burns fiercely, just like every other restless corpse she has seen. A7, one who burns the lamp, as you wish, Eblana. How far is County Hillock? Far. Oh hey, Harmony. My sister must have known. Only the elocutionist and his band of idiots will consider this plan flawless. Then why are you still following me? Oh, believe me, if it were up to me, I'd be taking a nap in camp right about now. Why didn't my sister stop me? I don't know. Maybe she has high hopes for you. No, that's impossible. She never looked at me like that. When I agreed to be her shadow, she... Please, Harmony. Tell her I don't want to do this. That you don't want to go to County Hillock. Mm-hmm. And if she's in a good mood, could you also tell her that from now on now... No, never mind. Fine. Can't hurt to pass it along, I suppose. Although it's not easy avoiding the elocutionist's eyes and ears. Thank you. You should go. Before she gets bored. Harmony did not return until after they arrived at County Hillock. She knew what that meant. That night, when cannons roared and crystals bloomed, she lay on the streets of County Hillock, blood draining from her abdomen. She had not been afraid then. Instead, she felt relieved that she could die like any other person. But then she saw those purple flames on a tower not too far away. That was when she felt afraid. Afraid that the flames would overlook her and turn her into another puppet like those on the street. Afraid that the flames would find her and bring her back, forcing her to remain a shadow. She gazed into the fire, tried to find some hint of her future in it, but saw nothing but apathy. That which she feared most had finally happened. The red dragon, or the dead dragon, lies on the ground. Behind the living dragon, the wayward white woman suddenly understands it all. Oh, the music? She deceived you. No, she didn't deceive anyone. She set this all up, knowing you would never allow the entire city to die with her. She baited you into piercing her vessel, freeing her from the bonds and allowing the purple fire to spread, burning us all to ashes on the eve of Samhain. Why would she take such a risk for a festival that she never cared about? I'm affected by the purple flames too. I can feel the flames of death burning in my chest colder than ever, so cold I'm growing number by the minute. It doesn't matter whether she's seeking the meaning over all of Terra, or if she's simply gone mad and wants Sadie to die with her. It's neither. Tara already belongs to her, and she was very much lucid. Nemos, is her body still there? I'll go check. The wayward wake woman grows feral. Perhaps she has never felt such malice in all her life, and as such has never harbored such resolve. Her body is. The sound of burning drowns out her answer. Whatever she's trying to do, the Sayosi is not fully gone. The fire returning ceremony can still go on. It must go on. I'm well aware. When informing the citizens that the wicked red dragon that they worshipped is dead. What about Bridget? I've asked her to leave the city and find the Wakeman. And how are you going to tell people that Eblana is dead? With a coffin. That seems appropriate. Even if coffins are in short supply, but she is not some nameless nobody. She deserves one. Is something wrong? No. I simply realizing how ugly the path she walked is. A path that even now waves at me invitingly. And it's an invitation I have no choice but to accept. Go, Nemos. I will buy you some time. Give me from the dark mist. Yes. If it wants to be part of the Sunbinding festivities, I'll keep it at bay. I can hardly wait to ask the mist how to return the Red Dragon's flame to darkness. How do you feel about that line? Now the ending of the dragon and her reflection is clear enough. The writer stands up at the start. Who are you and what do you want? All I want is to finish the story that you would not. Didn't you say I was the type who liked to piece together the truth? We've gotten so very close to it. This is enough, I'm leaving. If you won't tell the ending yourself, I suppose it falls on me. Suddenly, someone opened their eyes, causing the surprising reflection to let go of her hand. The dragon fell into the fire burning bright, and the reflection hid back in the mirror. When the fire subsided, the dragon was gone, and the people were anxious, but they could not find their dragon. The reflection wanted to explain, find a way to bring the dragon back. Without the dragon, though, she could no longer leave the mirror. What do you think? Even glancing over there at the newspapers, but not everything reported is a fact. The writer looks towards the door. He tries to imagine himself running out of the tavern, but it is such a preposterous proposition that he almost laughs out loud. If not everything reported is a fact, then he finally knows who this woman is and why she is here. He also knows there is no escape. But there is something else he realizes. Perhaps this is his chance to truly find the ending he had hoped for. No matter who she is, as long as the story continues, they are equals. He feels his spirit return. Okay, I don't care who you are, why you're here. That's no way to tell a story. You haven't given it an ending. All you did was extend an endingless story. But I have to know that you really see a red dragon kill another. In the same sense that you saw the hero drag a giant metal skeleton to the square. A creative liberty, nothing more. Then take responsibility for it. So the dragon in the mirror accidentally caused her other self to burn to death in the fire. What's next? What did the people do? What about the dragon in the mirror? What about you? Don't you have any ideas of your own? For the first time in a long while, the writer takes out a fountain pen from his pocket and grabs one of the playing cards on the table. He tries to write something, but the tip of the pen has dried out from disuse. I need time. But if it can be connected, then maybe. Connected? Let me guess. You're talking about the last story that you published. The writer's pen scratches hard against the card. Finally, some ink oozes out of the tip. He is suddenly reminded of the words Seamus Williams, may death connect us with all legends. Seamus Williams is dead, but he himself might, if he may be so impotent, have a chance to be connected with the legends he wrote. He tries to scribble the poem on the card, but the pen leaves only broken, illegible ink trails. Just maybe. Yes. The writer sits back on the chair, his back even straighter than before. He suddenly feels an urge, the same one he felt after hearing a Seamus Williams poem for the first time. The same feeling that had taken him down this wretched path, which teases his chest and makes him want to sing, to yell, to create. It may have indeed solved the problem for me. As I said, what I've seen, what I believe, and what I've said all contradict one another. Thanks to you, though, they are finally beginning to converge. How lovely for you. Now, are you ready to start telling the third story? Of course, but I'll need your help. You will need to pick up the narrative whenever I get stuck. This is my story, but it's also yours. It has always been yours. With pleasure. The writer's breathing is rapid, his face red. His fountain pen still refuses to write, so he throws it on the table. Yes, of course. Has he not seen enough of those things already? So what? He's a writer. He will soon find the ending of his story.
Every drop of blood whispers.
Camouflages itself as an encouragement point. And that's how you use attack reach.
The most dangerous enemies are usually masters of disguise.
What's an incursion point? What, they're camouflaging as red boxes?
Picked out your bait yet?
Toxins and traps
Oh,
are my
what?
tactics.
Wait, what is so weird?
Don't try to sink your corpse into shadow.
Enough dreaming. Only nightmares come with me. I've got an idea.
At moments like these, little Garnet shines most brilliantly. Oh, how ways will flash.
I'm gonna assume they all spawn in the end.
Don't
If you don't
relax your
kill them.
step.
Isn't it like a tree bark you start to have?
Enough. Time to end this.
That's interesting though. Enemies spawn from them.
Kanko seyo.
Enough. Time to end this.
Mission accomplished.
There was a mother who once ruled a kingdom until her crown and her family were taken by her foes. The mother had a powerful daughter who then made a pact with the dark mist in the dark woods to drive out their foes. The daughter reclaimed the kingdom for her mother, returning the promised peace to the dark mist. The mother was to host a grand coronation for her daughter, but the daughter died mysteriously right before the event. Tremendous woe and then rage engulfed the mother. Her zeal to avenge her daughter was so fierce that the entire kingdom was scorched by her vengeful fire. Until that fury disturbed the dark mist, who had just returned to its resting peace. The dark mist demanded that the mother cease, or she would be dragged into the darkness. But in her grief, the mother remained convinced that the dark mist was the one who had taken her daughter. A desperate battle was then inevitable. The mother determined to risk her life.
It's still jarring to hear voice acting. Nemo's, read. At the city gates, the number looks back at the citadel in the distance one last time. She resists the urge to turn tail and flee at the acrid burning smell. She knows what it signifies. She knows she should do as Nemo's has said, and leave the city to seek the Wakeman as quickly as possible, regardless of whether Lo Shiny is successful. But despite the urgency in Nemo's voice, she did not sound like she believed things would take a turn for the better. Nor did she believe that Bridget could convince the Wakeman to come. Bridget could smell the same burning smell coming from Nemo's. It reminded her of the obsessions that only the dead could have. Who are you waiting for, Death? Or are you just waiting for it to pat you on the back so you can have a nice little race together? Who is that? Oh, I forgot you could hear me. I can hear you. I can even sense your presence, but I can't see you. Leave the city, outsider. You're an outsider too, by the sound of it. Naturally. Consider it advice from one outsider to another. Live, Bridget. Nothing is more important than being alive. The city will be dead by sunrise tomorrow. Listen to Nemos. Find your kinsman. Run as far as you can and never look back. You're right, I should go. But I will be back. Back? Ha! Stubbornness and stupidity really are hereditary. Jesus. You're going to come back after she tried so hard to get you out of here. So you also think it was just an excuse to keep me safe? What else could it be? You really think you can sway those wood brains? Maybe if you waited for spring, one of their brains would sprout and they might come with you to the dark woods. I don't like the way you talk, invisible brother. What did you call me? Brother? You have burnt stench, but other than that, you remind me of the nomads. No clue how you're related to us, but it feels right. Haha, ha ha ha. Let's make a bet then, Bridget. A bet? On whether you'll be back tonight, before Nasiorsi is burned to the ground. I say it's impossible. That's not what you really want to bet on. Oh yeah? Then tell me, what am I really thinking? You just want to prove that you're right. That nothing is more important than being alive. You think I'll choose survival in the end. But whatever, you're on. Well, what are you waiting for then? It just doesn't feel fair. If you win, I'll live the rest of my life in regret. But if I win, it doesn't really matter to a bystander like you. So how about this? If I win, you go back to where you came from. And where do you think I should go back to? No idea, but not here. This isn't your home. You sound like you've been betrayed by the city folk here before, but you still can't bring yourself to hurt them. You act like you want to see them reap what they sowed, but didn't sound happy at all when you talked about the city burning to the ground. Honestly, you're the most struggling person I ever met, and enough. Very well. If you win, I'll return to where I belong. But just coming back here to die won't cut it. What else do you need me to do then? Deliver a message to those wood brains outside the city. Tell them it's been 600 years. Nobody's blaming you anymore. Go do your jobs. Oh, and one more thing. Something, you stupid wood brains. What? Pass it on to those fools verbatim, especially the filthier bits. Do you get all that? Need me to repeat myself? No. The elders sometimes speak that language, so I understand it more or less. Oh. Then go. What are you waiting for? Was all that just so you could tell me this? Just get moving already. The golden-haired nomad takes a deep breath and runs away from the city. Her ancestor, whose figure she never saw, stands in place, unmoving. That stubbornness and stupidity really are hereditary. Huh. Nemo turns to leave, while Lo Shiny looks towards the dark woods. The sun has set beneath the horizon. Curfew is about to begin. In the distance, she sees the darkness spreading from the forest towards Nasayorsi, thicker than ever. Made it in time. She raises her spear towards the mist outside, lighting a bright yellow spark in the city of purple. As though receiving some kind of message, the mist slowly rises until it is level with the flame at the tip of her spear. Yes, come here, where it's warm and bright, where there's still life. Yes, over here. What? You want to pretend I don't exist again? I won't let you. This light will never go out, not until true darkness falls. Attracted by the flame in her hand, yet unable to approach, the mist begins to flow through the streets. Soon it returns, but this time, her flame can either draw or repel it. There is a cacophony within the mist. She feels as though everything has gone dark all of a sudden. The dark mist has come. Is this your answer? Yes, this is my answer. It is incomplete. It needs time. Time is your enemy, not your friend. We'll see about that. The Death Fires have not yet completely transformed the people into walking dead. They're still alive. There's still time to return the flames. And you're not going anywhere until Nemos awakens them. Ridiculous. Ridiculous? Maybe. Maybe my strength, my wisdom, and my arts are also insignificant to you that it seems ridiculous. But I have my resolve. Nemos drags the coffin through the corridor. The red dragons remain to not burn. They simply lie there quietly. This is how death should be. But Nemo seems to hear an ethereal voice laughing in her ear. Without hesitation, the wayward wake woman lifts the limp body and tosses it into the coffin. This coffin, Red Dragon, is your final resting place. It's where those like you belong. So where are you now? Are you still watching this from somewhere with that twisted smile of yours? But this vessel, at least, is beyond your reach. Otherwise, you had to burn me to ash by now. And this spear, which never left your side. How many times have you breathed your flames from it? And how many others like Kulan have been your victims? You don't even know the answer, do you? With great effort, Nemo lifts the spear and thrusts it into the coffin. Flames from the tip engulf the coffin in an instant, spreading along the robe, connecting it to Nemo's and merging with the purple fire on her. A deathly cold runs through Nemo's body, but she can hardly feel temperature at this point. You're mine now. I'll finish where Kulan started. Let's go, to those lowly despicable places that suffer from the war you stole victory in. You will be seen by all. Your death will be seen by all. They will know that you are dead, that the proud imperious red dragon is dead. Here lies Eblana Dublin, in this coffin covered in freezing flames. But what will they do then? I pray that your death will wake them up, of course, as Lo Shiny hoped. That they'll know that the era you represented is over, that Nasi Yorisi will escape this calamity, that Terra need not celebrate its rebirth with the death of a city. But the fire must have got into my head, Dragon. Why did I suddenly feel like the other ending, where it all ends in destruction, isn't so bad? Someone else may have killed you, but this is my revenge. The coffin remains silent, and Nemos no longer speaks. Silent, delirious, and determined, she drags the burning coffin down the stairs, making a point to let it hit each step on the way down. It sounds like the withered mockery of the dead.
Is this how you command the Agar hunters too? Seems like the victory that the arrogant doctor promised might actually be plausible.
At the end of the night, Gate 8, away to the ledge, and when the sun rises, we shall have surpassed both life and death. I think there's a medal for this one. Okay, I don't know what that means, but I'll let it revive. Nemos drags the coffin out of the citadel. Not a single soul is in the square with the statue. Curfew has begun, but she drags the red dragon's coffin over as draconic flames burn within her own body. Wherever she goes, the darkness retreats. When she moves on, it reoccupies the space. Kulan, I envy you. No one could have slept through you dragging that colossal statue, forcing them to come out to see what's going on. But what about me, Kulan? What am I supposed to do? Do I have to keep shouting, "The red dragon is dead," as I walk down the street? She lifts her head to meet the statue's eyes. The violet flames dancing within its pupils do not answer. She recalls the songs she sung for the dead with the Wakemen all those years ago. Those from the city would also join in, if only for the first few lines. I hope you all remember the ancient ballads, tyrants. So, Red Dragon, which song should I sing to announce your death? How about the blasphemous Tim Finn's Wake? Would you enjoy a funeral where people get into fights, splash whiskey on your corpse, and then you wake up after smelling the alcohol? Forget it. No one wants you coming back to life. She casually sings another song that pops into her mind. The black car shrouds the martial veils, the cold streaks through the mountain hills. At Crexodon, I see a traveler who asks me to see the way to the golden field. The wayward white woman sings with a hoarse voice, dragging the burning coffin towards every inhabited part of the city she's familiar with. She stops at every house, making sure that the purple flame reflects in their window, that the elegy is heard inside. The more she sings, the more intimately the flames envelop her body, overwhelming her sluggish senses and making every step feel like torturous labor. But it also lets her hear even the smallest snippets of speech from every window. Terran language classes, Kieran. That can't possibly be free, right? At that price, well, it's doable. As long as we cut down on the wine. Bloody hell, Kieran. If we helped you more back then, could you have skipped the Victorians? Damn dark mist. If the red dragon won't drive it away, I'll do it myself. The black clouds shroud the Martian bells. The cold wind streaks through the mountain hills. At crack of dawn, I see a traveler who asks me the way to the golden field. Who is that? Nemos? What's she up to? Singing in the middle of the night. And what's she dragging? That bird so bright. Darling, even if you want to help the tyrant cause, surely you don't have to join the army. Fine, I'll wait for you to come home. For the day we win our freedom. Finally, some quiet. Going on and on about how your hand hurts when your whole arm's already gone. And it's not like screaming about it's going to get you any medicine. If it was going to be like this, I wish you never had come home. I'd rather spend my whole life missing you. I said to him, poor chap, even I don't know how far you have to go. But if you wish, I'll go with you for a bit towards the golden field. Is this a funeral song? Those purple flames. Who is it mourning? What? The enemies have entered the woods and are right outside the city. I can't sit back and do nothing, Nemos. Where's the army recruiting? I'll take my weapons and go. There's neither light nor any voice behind this window. Turn right and pass by the palace. Cross a river of fine wine. I share a cup by the riverside before we return to the golden field road. Miss Nemos, we'll be moving in with Mr. Kulan after the war's over. Aw. I was hoping there'd be someone other than me to cook for him. Perhaps the most important thing to do before Her Highness returns is to repair the workshop door. I hope you find the golden field and the home in flames you'll never yield. I'm sure you won't hesitate then and complete your trip to the golden field. A wake woman on the brink of death. Who does she think she's going to ruse with those songs? When she can't even wake herself up. But whatever happens, Bridget, always silly child of my distant bloodline, don't come back. This city isn't worth your life. So she is a descendant of him. Interesting. Even though she's a Pero. But I mean, I guess it could have been some like race mixing or something like that. Nimbus walks towards the last street she has yet to visit. She's been to practically the entire city and heard the simmering restlessness behind every door, but none of them have opened. The wayward white woman gradually loses a grasp on her senses as her voice grows weaker. She has sung every song she knows, even the blasphemous Tinfin's Awake from start to finish. She has only one song left. She did not want to sing it, but now she has no other choice. I stepped into the dark woods one morning, caught into the mist of horror. Checked upon the road heading to war. Nemos, Emma, I almost couldn't recognize you. You're still... Ooh, the purple eyes. I'm not doing good, Nemos. I'll be dead soon. I just want to lie in bed and stop breathing. My joints hurt, my throat's burning. I'm even seeing people who aren't with us anymore. But I heard your song, I saw the coffin. I'm on death's door already. So I figured why not come and see. Where's the dark mist? Maybe in the forest, maybe in the city, maybe right behind us. I don't know, and I don't care. I don't care either. One question, Nemos. I need you to answer before I can die in peace. Inside that coffin, is that truly our red dragon? Emma stands on her front porch, staggering, as if ready to collapse at any moment into a pile of kindling, to burn in despair and return to dust. I put her in the coffin myself. Why did she die? Who killed her? Who? Emma's feeble but angry voice echoes down the empty streets. Who? 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 The echoes linger. Nemo turns around to look. The streets are still empty, but she knows where the echoes are coming from. Behind every closed door is a pair of bloodshot eyes hidden away, just like they once on Emma's face. Nemo turns again to look towards the towering citadel where nothing remains within. You guys still want revenge? That's right. As long as we can move, we can avenge the Red Dragon. Nemos turns away in despair. She stops singing her songs and merely hauls the coffin step by step towards the square. Wait, Nemos, wait. How many times must I repeat myself, Mist? Eblana is dead. I killed her with my own hands. Her body lies in the coffin Nemos is now dragging throughout the city. The people must know she is dead, and return her violet flames to their bodies will no longer burn. Or so their bodies will no longer burn. Wishful thinking. She did not give those flames, she merely started the fire. Everything the Red Dragon promised will be lost because of you. When has she ever cared about honoring her promises? But if that's all that matters to you. Doshani retreats step by step until there's no room for her to move any further. Only then does a fierce flame burst from her spear tip, melting the coldly lit vegetation. Know that the only Red Dragon stands before you. Whatever she promised you, the only way you'll get it is through me. Do you hear the doors opening in the distance? You must have. Nemos aside, the first resident to break curfew has already opened their door. So for their sake, as well as the hundreds more who will take the very same street, you must remain here. Before my answer to Nasayorsi is deemed a failure, before the people here are reduced to a shambling corpse bent on tearing this dark mist apart, you have no right to take the lives of anyone trespassing in the dark. What arrogance. You call this arrogance? If Tara needs it, I can be far more arrogant than that. The Red Dragon speaks no more, and the flames of life burn brightly atop her spear. She steps forward with her back straight, no longer dodging the ice-cold branches, but allow them to lace her body with bloodied scratches. The juxtaposition of the giant statue with the two tiny figures makes them seem like ghosts. But somehow, Nemus can also feel the presence of others besides Emma. In fact, they seem to have crowded the square, as though the whole city is here. They are all watching and listening, lit up by the strange purple glow from their Originium lamps. No, it is more than a glow. Their bodies are burning people. The one who killed the red dragon is... Nemus knows they haven't changed a bit. They're still waiting for her to utter a name they can curse and then destroy. Maybe they will even destroy themselves. Low Shiny. No one will believe there was actually 2 red dragons. Who else then? Who else could possibly kill the dragon who deemed to toy with life and death? Before she could stop herself, she had some thought. Why not just say it was the Dark Mist, or the Victorians? Revenge, indeed. Let these lunatic statues to the mist and die in the red dragon's name. Let them fulfill their desire for vengeance, and let this violent city die. It was born in disgrace. Let it die in madness. Yes, die. Let everyone who stayed perish, just like those who left and went into the dark mist. I stepped into the dark woods one morning, caught into the mist of war. Never chose to look at the colossal dragon skeleton sculpture, and recalls that recent evening, awash with confusion and sorrow. What was he thinking? The messenger dragged the statue to the square. What song was he singing in his heart? Was it the song they taught Theo when they rescued him? What feels like centuries ago? At this moment, the last bit of her sanity snatches the answer from the fairy clutches of her rage. The answer that had been fluttering around since the very beginning of the story. The answer to the red dragon, to the sisters, to the mirror and the reflection, and to the flames of life and death. Kulan. If it wasn't you to throw his life away protecting these people, the one who killed the red dragon is no other than the red dragon. It was herself. The woman before Nemo stares at her blankly, as if she did not hear her words. Straining her entire being, Nemo yells at the whole city. The red dragon killed herself. She never intended to light the flames within your bodies, but she did not want you to burn into cinders, so she offered her own life instead, to protect you from death. And yet, must you exact a fruitless revenge? Must you destroy everything she gave her life for? The city falls silent as purple flames flicker, leaving only dark mist lingering restlessly at the gates, as if waiting for its hesitant prey to step into its domain. You're saying she killed herself, so we wouldn't exact revenge? Then what do we do now? The onslaught of questions from the residents sends Nemo's head spinning. Dasha eyes that did not shut from the news of her death, instead ask her questions. Grinding teeth that did not relax from news of the death, instead ask her questions. Clenched fists that did not open from the news of the death, instead ask her questions. Silence, tension, confusion. Their revenge was rejected, overruled by the red dragon. So where should their sorrow go now? Niels, my unborn child, the red dragon. Someone tell me. Emma. If even revenge is out of my hands, then what else can I do? I have nothing else. The war took everything from me. How am I supposed to live on? Tell me, Niels. Tell me, Red Dragon. Anyone, just tell me quickly. How am I supposed to live on? Or should I go to you instead? Emma, no. Isn't this the only path left for me? It's a song. Niels, is that you? Are you finally back? Oh, I trod upon the road heading out to war. The pipes are singing, our battle drums roar. Only the bells behind me, through the dew and fog that rings too sore. Stop singing. That song snatched Niels away from me. Always still sing that song, no matter. Emma seems lost to madness until a soft voice sings the same tune, but with different lyrics. The nightblind laborer is led by a wake woman as they slowly walk into the square. Again through the dark woods. Oh, Warren's here too. I said stop singing that. Wait, again? It may be presumptuous, but I tried writing a new verse to the song. Because I don't want our brave loved ones to just leave us, to never to see us again, to be eternally lost in the mist, just like we are. Again through the dark woods, part in the mist of war, our gallants dearly departed, my heart so sad and sore. And so in my dreams I go, lighting bonfires in the woods. Not to reunite, but to light the path you trod with fog and dew. Not to reunite, but to light the path you trod. A tear trickled from Emma's eyes, streaking across her sallow face. Does that mean shallow? Is that a word? Return it. Return your flames and the blessing of the red dragon. Return the flames? If I return this blessing, this fire back to her, will it light up their path? Return it, and the wandering departed will also return to the flames and rest in peace. No, I don't want that. I just want to see him again. If you die as you are, you will only ever brush past each other in the fog. Again and again. Then what should I do? Live on. He chose to walk into the mist so you wouldn't need to be lost within it as well. Return the fire to his path, and then let the years pass. Let life begin anew. And when your hair is white and he learns his wish was fulfilled, only then will you meet again. The woman buries her face in her hands as she kneels on the ground, tears streaming down her fingers. Morin hands her a candle. The candle flame turns purple the moment she takes it between sobs. Oh, a new sky backdrop. The wakemen and refugees slowly sink their way through the city, like a tiny stream left behind after a night of rain. It is by no means a clear stream, nor a turbulent one. It is a miserable muddy trickle flowing down from centuries of painful history, carrying dust and blood and about to run dry. But it is this murky bitterness that reveals the city's true self in the gloomy night. Nights of falling asleep gripping old photos, mornings of waking by phantom pain from amputated limbs. Now empty houses fell to ruin, while those fortunate enough to return home were greeted only by orphan dolls scattered across dusty floors. The doors are opening? They are. People flood into the streets like a burst dam, pouring into the square. Some leave their homes with candles in hand, while many more follow Emma's lead and take one from the wake woman. The flames still burn purple, but seem to have softened and bear a bit of warmth. Finally. Place the red dragon's coffin at the statue's base, Nemos. Ooh, the soundtrack. It seems Nasa Yorose will witness a grand fire's returning ceremony tonight. You should be the first, Nemos. Me? But this is her funeral, so are you sure? It is more than just hers, is it not? The wake woman looks around, trying to pinpoint the shadow of a stranger. But even if the ghost wasn't trying to hide from her, she has no way of hearing the long overdue words of forgiveness from his mouth. Now we're even, Woodbrains. Nemos takes a candle from the wake woman and bows before the burning coffin beneath the dragon statue. Rest in peace. She deliberately neglects to mention the name of the departed. She places the candle before the coffin, no longer able to stop her tears from crashing into the flames. Violet fire instantly rises up into the sky, spreading from the coffin to the entire statue. The entire sculpture is set ablaze. The crowd places their candles down beside the statue and return the purple flames to the one who granted them their youth. Some are silent, some call the red dragon's name, but many more chant the most precious thing they had lost in the war. Tears fall like rain. The suppressed, the promised, the twist of the incited. Tears wash away the flickering hollow pageantry, revealing only the sorrow of lives crushed to bits. Crude, sharp, tear-bit, and stuck in their throats. Only now does their sorrow manage to cry out. The rain of tears converges into the stream of songs, pulling around the statue as the raging blaze evaporates it all, until even the citadel begins to square. The citadel behind the square is engulfed in flames. As I said, this is my answer. The mist does not reply, but after a long time, Lo Shiny hears a deep sigh. You made this choice yourself. The darkness dissipates like awakening from a dream, and Lo Shiny sees real black clouds above her. She heads towards the square. She goes to return fire to the dead. She walks the whole way from the city gates to the square. Every living resident is gathered before the burning statue. The soaring purple flames have already taken over one side of the citadel. No one is able to approach, so Low Shiny gets all the space she could want. It should work from here too. Eblana, may Tara never need your flames again. A small blossom of fire flies from Low Shiny's palm. She does not know if this conforms to funerary tradition and is simply an act of instinct. The bright yellow flower flutters into the purple blaze. Low Shiny stands quietly as the other fire returns herself done. But the fire does not die out. The purple fire still lights up half the sky until everyone has returned their flames, though the original lamps in the waste remain as ice cold twilight. Oh, though the original lamps in the waste remain as ice cold twilight. Low Shiny finally realizes that at some point the giant dragon, still aflame, has stopped right before her. And she meets his eyes. Eblana's eyes. So I'm not giving up, Eblana. Very well then, I'll play along with you. One last time. Low Shiny's spirit tip flares up as the giant dragon flaps his wing and charges towards her. We fighting the dragon?
그림자 잘 지키고 있어. 빼앗기지 말고. Picked out your bait yet? 비단실을 칼날에 가까이 하지 마. Better watch your step. Don't get me wrong. I don't like the smell of the battlefield.
Order acknowledged. Eyes blind by hatred.
노래는 멈추지 않을 거야.
Oh, we are.
멜로디가 전부
The ancestral red dragon that never
쓰여질
left the wilderness, or perhaps the place where the fire is returned, the whereabouts of the heart.
The battlefield's all around you. Where do you think
Along
you're
attack
running?
range.
Toxins and traps are my tactics.
Oh, you part ways from the flash. If you need to calm down,
Oh, no.
I can slow your heartbeat for you.
Whoa.
Your lives are mine to protect.
Relax, enough dreaming. Only nightmares come with me.
Can you block this?
There's now, mate. I'm on your right. All right. Who am I hacking up?
My upgrade Visa.
Time to end this.
I think the attack range is
Relax.
huge.
I'll always help you out.
Oh shit.
Target. Lock.
I know what you can't hide your fear.
My sword will respond the instant I spot the movement.
The battlefield's all around you. Where do you think you're running?
我隨時後手。
Got this race.
Can't
I don't know.
just be all. Let's see. Who's the next sap getting duffed up?
看過せよ。
Machete's all sharp.
I did nothing.
要记得有很多。30微命，俯仰无愧。
Oh, Lord is flying now. Oh, Lord.
30
水一程，风雪一更，故园无此声。target lock off。前路坎坷，请小心。我去了。30微命，俯仰无愧。
내가 비단실을 튕겨볼게.
Okay, I'm guessing we can aerial now.
Illusion and intimidation are my tactics too.
프로그램 로드 완료시마시다.
Oh wow, I'm just ready to deploy everything. Jesus.
Don't get me wrong.
Do you not?
I don't like this.
I've swallowed up the sun.
The battlefield's all
Whoa.
around you. Where do you think you're running?
너희가 사라지면 난 홀로 남겨진 이 꿈을 가져갈게.
Eyes blind by hatred.
Well, unfortunately, I don't really have anti-air.
我隨時合高低你嘅武器。
プログラム起動します。
So I can't really do anything about this guy. Aside from maybe blasting them with greed. Here.
Your lives are mine to 情况一目了然。
Relax. What do you fear most?
I'm preparing lives, not to hide your fear. Oh, you have an indecisive side too. Mission
Oh, okay. Simple enough. I don't know what the mechanics were, but the medal says something about reviving, so I'm guessing it could revive, but Your Highness, the singer has just sent word to the elocutionist and the rest have taken low shiny. They're on their way to County Hillock. I see. He sent news after our troops left and the leader had already set out to County Hillock. He seems to want to avoid offending the elocutionist and his group, but also to avoid accusations of concealing information. What should we do with him? Dublin has never needed him to be our eyes. No one is counting on him for this. My utmost apologies. I take full responsibility. I assume that we're heading towards County Hillock on orders, and never imagined that they're take low shiny. But they haven't gotten far, so we can still catch up when we set off now. Your Highness, I bring news from your sister. She hopes you can curb the elocutionist and his men from acting rashly and bring her back. She said that herself. That's right. I'll mobilize the troops at once. Hold on. Your Highness, we should stop them as soon as possible. Also, I don't want to go to County Hillock, straight from the dragon's mouth. If that is truly her desire, then she ought to realize it with her own hands. It would be no difficult task with her flames. I should not already sentenced quite a few to death in the name of the leader. Tell her this. If that is what she wants, she can do it herself. No, there's no need for even that. Your Highness, if I may be so bold, she is my sister. The giant dragon flaps its steel wings, staring up a flaming vortex. Below Shiny does not waver. She stabs her spear firmly in its eye socket. Still unable to commit to killing me, Low Shiny. Gradually, the dragon's voice overlaps with Eblana's, and eventually even its body becomes hers. The scenery around them changes swiftly, just like that night in the ruins with La Brea Tech. I just don't know. What exactly do you want? You deceived me and lied to so many, all for what? For the city to be buried alongside you, to become the next legendary King Gael. I never lied to you. Why should I believe you now? What exactly is Nasa Yorsi to you? What about Tara? I had always believed we shared the same dream, so I didn't seem completely different now. But will dreams eventually become a card for me to play in your mad pursuit of power? One that you will inevitably grow bored of, just like Glow Shiny back in County Hillock. County Hillock? I saw no desire to return to me in your eyes back then, only relief. Was I mistaken? Though indeed, I was truly sick of it back in County Hillock. With my flames, I could mold anything I wanted to any shape I want. Everything except my reflection in the mirror. No matter how large a blaze I stung, she wouldn't change one bit. Because you've never burned her directly. Because I've never burned you directly. I've only ever waited. I've always been waiting. Waiting for you to give me an answer. An answer? What about you, Lo Shiny? What do you want? Yes, it's good that your blood and your upbringing have you carry yourself high. But if you want for nothing, then what sort of position am I meant to leave on my side for you? Go on, this is your wish on a snowy night. I'll let you aspire as grand as you want. True, you never used your flames on me, but only because you had other tools more suited for the task. Fear, duty, guilt, sympathy. You never asked me directly to change, but you've done so indirectly countless times. So all my attempts to guide you were useless, yet my apathy bore fruit. How terribly ironic. Whatever the case, you find the return of your own will, ready to embrace a real life. That is enough. Conspiracies, lust for power, war. Is that what you call a real life? Is it not? Stories, poems, legends. Do you think those are enough to constitute a life worthy for you or I? I know. I've always been ashamed of myself. Even now I hate myself for not sharing your suffering. I was the one who left, forcing you to shoulder it all on your own, letting them mold you into who you are now. No, Lo Shiny. Recently, I've been wondering if you're just as arrogant as I am. The only difference is that my arrogance is directed at the land, while yours is focused solely on me. What? Conspiracies, lust for power, war. Why do you assume those are what shaped me? They have never changed me. They simply happen to take on the form I was able to wield with ease, nothing more. The tiniest bit of power can decide whether one lives or dies. Even more power can decide the fate of armies. And an overwhelming amount can decide the rise and fall of nations. But power comes to an end. The poets have always known this, and I think you do too. Am I wrong, Lo Shiny? Death marks all equally, preparing the predestined end for those who crave power, ruthlessly snatching away everything they spent their whole lives chasing. So if you knew your path would come to naught, why do you still? Eblana backs away at the giant steel forged dragon for the suit. Is it escaping or trying to hide? Lo Shiny subconsciously eases her fire, but in the next moment, bites down on her lip and abruptly increases her strength, pushing Eblana forward. Very good. At least you have learned the most fundamental thing required for a life without me. Cruelty. Determination. If you have decided that this path is your life, then step forward and never look back. You should be telling that to the people of Nasa Yorsi. Let me finish. Death marks all equally, yet I shall mock death. So bless me, dear sister, for I am finally about to embark on a grand adventure. Eblana retreats again and again, the smile on her face fainter than ever. The sensation in Lo Shiny's arms of piercing through steel gradually lessens, until it feels as smooth as a stroke through a body, then as hollow as running a spear through a flame. Until an immense force like the final flash of a dying light erupts from her spear tip, pulling Lo Shiny towards the other side. Ice-cold flames wrap around her body, as she suddenly realizes that she now stands at the entrance of the Citadel on Red Dragon Square, right in the middle of the fire returning right. Or perhaps The dragon skeleton she is currently entangled with merely returned to its original position and took the chance to pull her, with her firm grip on her spear, into the core of the funeral flames. Do you still wish to get away from me, Lo Shiny? Light shoots out from Lo Shiny's spear, brighter than ever. In a flash, she feels a burning sensation as painful as her internal organs, rupturing repeatedly. The flames of life burst and fade into the center of death again and again, until her weapon can no longer stand her overloaded arts and bursts to flame as well. The dragon's bones crash and collide with each other, like thousands of mouths stinging their separate elegies. The flames slowly grow warmer as Eblana's figure gradually fades. Lo Shiny's lips quiver, itching to say words of farewell. In her heart, she scans every book she has read, yet is unable to recall an appropriate line. Before she dissipates, Eblana slowly cradles Lo Shiny in an embrace. Farewell, till death do us meet again. I hope you enjoy my parting gift. Parting gift? The mourners in the square are completely oblivious to what is occurring within the flames. All they see is the fire growing taller and stronger, now covering the pedestal, the coffin, the dragon sculpture, the citadel, yet continuing to ascend. The flames distort the dragon's figure. They can no longer tell whether it is flapping its wings of flight in a death match with some unseen foe, or crying out in anguish with its head run through. Everyone is silent, trying to identify its posture in the firelight, but all is in vain. Until Bridget cries out in surprise. The fire changed color. The fire changed color. A strong wind rising up from the ground turns the sky-searing purple flames into a maelstrom, and at the bottom where the coffin lies rises a small but scorching sun. The entire deep purple vortex seems to light up, emitting a shining yellow from the bottom to the top. Everyone near the bonfire backs away. The flames suddenly bear worms, nearly burning them. The rising heat dissipates, evaporating even the stream of sorrow. Perhaps a miracle is about to occur, since the only thought on anyone's mind. A miracle, one I have no choice but to accept for Tara. Is this a parting gift you prepared for me, sister? Eblana is undeniably dead. She cannot answer. Lo Shiny tries to recall their hug. Expectations met, a pinch of warmth, a cold calculation. What were the propositions of each in that embrace? Or maybe all those things were inseparable to Eblana. You were right, Eblana. If this was your ultimate goal, if you insist on laying this bloodstained crown atop my head, then yes. Slan Abhaya, until death, we shall meet again. Whoa. The flaming vortex exhales and dissipates. The red dragon, the one who led the Terrans through the long night, steps forth from the statue's center towards the entirety of Nalsayarsi. Her expression is blurred by flame, yet her figure is as solid as the ever-persistent life on the land. One step, then another. Her feet step over the coffin, still burning in purple embers. There is no body within, only the familiar flame, spewing spear of the leader. The crowd holds their breath, and the square falls silent, as if they stand outside a hospital's delivery room, or perhaps a cemetery after the last shovel of soil has been heaped into a grave. Only dancing flames remain without rest. I can forgive everything else you've done to me, Eblana, but not this parting gift, never. From past to present, your name will sink into oblivion alongside the countless names who built Tara. The only red dragon of Tara will be Lo Shiny Dublin. I have returned. The red dragon who led you in the fight against Victoria. In the fight for independence and freedom. Low shiny Dublin is back from the abyss of death. I died to quench the flames upon you all, but the rain of tears you shed for me extinguished that fire, allowing me to return from the abyss. Okay, I see what they're pulling here. This time though, I will not drive you to your death. Our grand undertaking is complete. Never again will there be a cause for countless tyrants to offer up their lives and leave us only ruins and wailing. I pray with all my heart that every tyrant will be able to curb their own flame. Flames that came from slavery, from oppression, from humiliation, from sorrow that never died out, not for thousands of years. I neither need nor expect you to forget. I only hope that you can do as our ancestors did and let those flames become your lamp. A lamp that first warms yourself and then illuminates the path for us all, so we can truly laugh, sing, and live in our homeland. A bright yet gentle light. While the crowd is stumbling over her words, one of the residents suddenly cries out in pain. Ah, why is the burn on my hand suddenly hurting? Wait, the colors of all your lamps. Even my own change colors. These are the lights the red dragon hopes you would carry to warm yourselves. Purple fire belongs only to the dead. Yet we unwittingly let our own flames be dyed its color through overwhelming death and loss. But we mistook that fire for a blessing and allowed ourselves to be dragged towards the abyss. If the red dragon hadn't killed herself tonight, and we hadn't managed to return her flames, we could have all been dead by now, turned into walking corpses. To extinguish the flames of death in ourselves. You say that's why she killed herself? The sense of guilt that had crept up on Nemos after the purple flames vanished leaves her unable to reply. She only nods slightly. Then she feels a sudden chill on her face. It was a drop of water. Nemos lifts her head and looks at the distant night sky. More look up as the damp raindrops pelt their faces, gently washing their tears away. It is raining. On Samhain's Eve, the rain falls, heavier and heavier, but the crowd still remains in the square. They wish to thank the Red Dragon for returning their lives, for separating life from death. But the Red Dragon tells everyone she will remain here until everyone returns home to rest. So the people gradually disperse, and eventually even the wakemen and refugees bid goodbye to the dragon. They worry that some of the dead, who have not returned their fire yet, will gather around the ruins, although that worry is unfounded. By the time the sun rises, no longer will there be any wandering dead on Taran soil. Amidst sobs, Nemos bids goodbye to the dragon as well. The next day, she will wake up early to collect bricks from all over town to make a new door for Kulan's workshop. The huge square empties out, leaving only a red dragon and a nomad. Where are you off to next, Bridget? Not sure there's anywhere to go, really. All I've ever done is pass on messages or report oncoming catastrophes. To Rhodes Island you go. I think they will replace my job though. What are they called again? Catastrophe messengers? There have been less and less of us nomads anyhow. So I guess I'm glad someone will carry on the work at least. You should try contacting Rose Island. Yep. What's that? A pharmaceutical company. They're good people. You have to look for their headquarters. It's a land ship. I'll write them a letter tomorrow. I was hoping you could deliver it for me. I think you'll like the place. But for tonight, you ought to rest inside the fort. We can have you sleeping in a tent with all this rain. Let's head to the sensitive gates first. So all of that was set up for like theater, basically. The two of them slowly make their way towards the citadel. The downpour continues, and the fire on their sculptures is nearly extinguished. Only a faint flame of indistinct color flickers in the dragon's eye sockets. They suddenly hear a voice from behind. Stubbornness and stupidity really are Hereditary, I'm telling you. How can someone forget their own bet? Is there someone still in the square? It's that invisible brother of mine. He made a bet with me. Invisible? Don't turn around, little shiny. He's a wee bit awkward, that one. No fun of being seen, I'm sure. Ha. Looking at the flickering flames in the dragon's eyes, Labriatek recalls the time centuries past, when the little was still a lad with a cracking voice, while his own beard had just started to sprout. Magrede, the Exquisite, was promoting everything Victorian in the royal capital, and notably even banned the favorite custom for Terran commoners, placing bets. That day, Labriatek had exploded in an argument with his mother, with an unprecedented level of rage. Afterwards, his mother ordered him to fast and reflect, but Ailil sneaked into his brother's bedroom with a big piece of steak for him. The brothers blew out every light in the room and merrily gorged themselves, even licking their fingers clean. Enough stubbornness. Soon everyone in the capital will be a Victorian, Ailil said. Labriatek stroked his still soft beard and merely shook his head. He asked, "Then why not make a bet with me? Once mother is gone, not a soul will willingly continue pretending they're Victorian." "Fine," Ailil replied. The older brother burst into laughter. "What's on the table then?" "What would make a good wager? Why not the crown? If you win, I'll never set foot in the palace for the rest of my life." "No, wager anything but that." Ailil had refused. It was I who insisted on having it my way, half as a joke, and half hungry for a gamble. I nearly put him in tears, didn't I? Yes, because Ailil was always the type to give in. He'll definitely agree. And so in the end, he said, "Alright, if you go, then never come back." Afterwards, I ended up leaving the palace, wandering for years as Ailil spent that time unhappy in the capital. I heard that after losing half the spent in the court, Ailil was controlled by not even Victorians, but Terran nobles speaking with Victorian accents. You lost, Labriatek. No matter how homesick you are, you spent far too long on this family visit. Not to mention just a pathetic shadow cast by firelight. Man, you have your own road to walk. No more breaking promises. Right, just like that. Take out that purple fire from the stab wound on your chest. And now, return it to the dragon who walked the same path you did. The exiled king's face twists from pain, but nevertheless he extends his arm bit by bit towards the eye of the skeleton. Let's see, Ailil. Is this your blades? Can phantoms also feel pain? Can they shed tears of anguish? Or is it merely the rain dripping through him as his body fades to nothingness? He can no longer tell. Or perhaps the flame of your good descends. Perhaps the flame of your good descended here. Labriatek. Lo Shiny steps around, but there's no sign of anyone else in the square. Only the purple fire in the red dragon's eyes. It flares up for a split second before the rain extinguishes it completely.
Is this how you command the Aegir hunters too?
So how do we
Seems
get
like the
Eblana
victory
in
that
robes?
the arrogant doctor promised might actually be plausible.
Maybe the operator will answer that. I think I got the trim here. Yeah, nice. Tell me again, you let the purple fire its fuel to the central tower until sunrise life will truly begin. What is the spin state? I didn't even see that. The ancestral red dragon that never left the wilderness. Apparently it's just for the place where the fire is returned. And many of the fires added to all, everything comes in, everything. Burned everything second. fire. Please rotate the next like this art step can burn them to target the orange shining units. Burning art. Firelights. Tells a balancing operator with the highest attack on the field. Okay, surrounding tiles. Enters rest for reach 0. Summons fire so days pass around the top and recovers HP. When it reaches max, if there's no fire so days pass, the battlefield enters last dance form. Otherwise, destroys all fire so days pass returns. Okay, so I was right. You destroy the thing so it doesn't revive into its fresh form. Okay, cool. Alright, last note. Back cover. A story repeated countless times is what becomes history. Oh, no voice acting? Just before the mother engaged the dark mist, the wakeman of the woods came to remind her that she had not yet to do that which was most important, hold a proper funeral for her daughter. The mother had intended to fight the dark mist to death, but tears began to stream down her face when the wakemen sang their ancient song, and she chose to follow the tradition and hold the wake for her daughter. All through the night she cried at the purple bonfire representing her daughter's soul. The downpour of tears quenched the fire burning through the city, nearly extinguishing even the purple funeral fire. When the wakeman once again asked the mother if she would still fight the dark mist to the death, she gazed upon the smoldering bonfire with tears on her face, saying, "I cannot abandon my kingdom's people." As she said those words, the feeble purple flame suddenly turned bright yellow. Her daughter rose from death and walked out of the flames, and mother and daughter embraced each other. So ends the story, not in fragments, but a true ending. Congratulations, we pieced together the truth. And what a happy ending. This is all thanks to you. Wait. The people purple flame suddenly turned yellow, rose from death, and walked out of the flames. Huh. This is all thanks to you. Come, let us toast. Let me write this all down and publish it for... Well, publishing it may be a challenge. Now that it's complete. The funeral, the bonfire, the resurrection. You saw everything. I never expected you to find the courage to return to Nasiyorsi. Singer. Oh. Wait, this was one of the Dublin guys? And it was a lovely ending, wasn't it? Eblana departed with the dead, never to return. As for you, Your Highness Low Shiny, it was Reed. I dedicate the story to you. Whether to publish it, seal it away, or have it fade into obscurity, along with the remnants of Dublin like me, it is all up to you. How wonderful. Wait. Oh, it's Eblana. What? I almost forget allowing you to belittle yourself with a title like the singer. You. Wait, what? You're not Low Shiny, you're Eblana. The once singer swings his arm furiously, spinning his drink on the table. You're dead. You can't be alive. You were killed twice, once by spirit, once by fire. You shouldn't be here. Okay, that's a cool CG. She gowned it? What the hell? Or am I dead? This isn't funny. You're dead, Red Dragon. Go back to where you belong. I see, that's it. It was all a lie. You never died. You killed Low Shiny instead. It was all a trick, an illusion. If so, what becomes of your story? My story. Have you calmed down? You shouldn't be alive. No. Has death ever been an eternal sleep for me? What I could do with life, I could do with death. As a reward for completing the story, writer, let me tell you one thing. All that matters is fire. The purple fire. The purple fire from your story. It may seem ethereal, but it is no fiction. It is true that, over the long course of a war, I shared too much of my flame with others and became weak, feeble. But fire spreads, fire consumes, fire grows. After the battle with the Nasher on the gas trail, I needed to take back the flames I had given away, which had been growing on the plains, in the ruins, in the hearts of the people. You wanted it repaid, with interest. Taxation is the most basic authority of a monarch. Mundane kings collect blood taxes to nurture their armies, to fight over land and people that will last mere centuries at most. I collect blood taxes to pave a road between life and death with the red dragons as flame, so that all those caught in between will look up to me. The readiness of a mad woman. No doubt it sounds that way to you, but you cannot fathom what happens when enough death to consume a nation to return to its master. 1,000 years of anger, sorrow, and hatred converged on me all at once. Do you think they would let my flesh and spirit fade away so easily? She inherits your feelings? Interesting. A slave to hatred. What a fitting end for you. Have you already forgotten what I said in your story? Everyone and everything that thought they could mold me just happened to take on the form I was able to wield with ease. Were I truly their slave, you'd have been ash the moment I saw you. You lunatic. That's why you allowed Wellington to station his troops in the dark woods, to blockade the city, even continued the curfew. You never intended to spare Nasayorsi. Why, thank you for finally being willing to shed light on the unpleasant truth to the dark mist and Wellington. Does the Battle of Silver Rock Bluffs, which you witnessed from the deck of the Gastrel, still haunt you in your alcohol-fueled dreams? It's never left you, has it? Why else would you be so obsessed with depicting the mist dangling above people's heads, yet so loath to define it? The curfew was justified at first. There were still Victorian spies in the Sayorsi at the time indeed. The Duke of Wellington stepped into the blockade when Lo Shiny entered the city, because he wanted to smother any possibility of news leaking about the two red dragons. And the food that disappeared, it came back on its own. The brigadier was more than just your most trusted lieutenant. He was also captain of Wellington's Reed Steel Guard. When he went to ask for supplies, Wellington Wellington simply became disappointing in Lo Shiny when she left Nasayorsi to seek the Wakeman, that's all. You should thank her, really. You never have escaped the woods if Wellington hadn't relaxed the blockade out of disappointment. As for the victory party you were so afraid to describe, don't tell me you've really glorified it into a fairy tale in your memories. Of course not. What happened to the Dubliners who weren't willing to give up their power, the ones you took away on a pretext? They were swallowed by the dark mist, as you put it. Quite literally. But Lo Shiny still managed to make up her mind and killed you, and Wellington didn't follow your ridiculous orders. Suppose I believe that your aberrant purple fire left you a vessel. What do you plan to do with it? Lead an army of the dead to retake Tara? I won't help you. No living soul will. You and your dead friends can go straight to hell. Indeed, you were never suited to be Dublin's singer. You cling to what you see and believe. When the two could no longer be reconciled, you chose self-destruction rather than to give up on either. But do you really imagine that everything has gone the way you think? A letter, Your Grace. You may enter. Is it urgent? No, ma'am. I thought Trophy Asher looking fit. But look at the seal. It corresponds to no emblem on record from the past 50 years. Tara. The Duke of Castor scrutinizes what the servant is holding. On the edge of the envelope is an emblem excavated from the dust of history. The young have never seen it, while the old have forgotten it. Only those forced to keep an eye on history remember its source. We are uncertain whether it is the mark of Tara or of King Gael. I never took you for a scholar of heraldry. That was not my intention, I just... It is enough that we know what it signifies. To the Duke of Castor. Open it and read it out loud. Not too quickly. Yes, ma'am. There is no greeting. Your previous letter was received. The response was delayed as time was not yet ripe. Now it is. From this day forth, martial law is hereby lifted in Nasa and the surrounding lands south of the Great Hills. Extra, read all about it. Martial law to be lifted at midnight across all of Tara. Publishing restrictions lifted. The art community rejoices. Read more on page 2. Finally, now we can call this a proper tavern. Here, with the curfew lifted, we could drink all through the night. Besides, it's my birthday. Drinks are on the house. Really? You sure about this? There are enough people in the city to drink you out of house and home. Worry about yourself. Look at you, rich boy. Leaving your lamp in the middle. Leaving your lamp on in the middle of the day. I was just so busy I forgot. It's been warm lately, so I've been renovating. Thought I'd take the day off, because I really have been too busy. So how about another beer? I'm about to get this fatigue out of my system. Here you go. On the other hand, I'm almost more afraid of not being tired. Being tired is how I know I'm still breathing. No, that's not quite it. How should I put this? Living. Yes, living. You too, ma'am. Here's one for you. Oh, it's you, Emma. I'm sorry, I've got to get going. Off to do your time in the HE plate. Yes. No idea how you managed to smuggle all that food out last year, but I hear you've been paying it off with honest work over there. So no need to be shy now. Have one on me. Thank you. To living. To Tara. To... Emma holds a cup with one hand and puts the other in her pocket, clutching the necklace she reclaimed last winter. The words said to her when it was returned come out of her mouth almost by instinct. To all our countrymen who give their lives for Tara. You're really leaving, Bridget? Yeah, the burning beasts are calling for me from these pastures. Besides, I haven't been to this Rhodes Island that Low Shiny wanted me to see. Want to come with? Maybe if I have a chance. It's just sad to think that you're the one who brought us to Nasayorsi, but can't stay yourself. It's not that I couldn't, I just chose not to. Like your own chose to stay. Say hi to the Wakemen for me, if they come back to the city. Is that your intuition again? It's not always right. But I don't smell that burning stink anymore. It smells like fresh birds in spring, dew in the morning. Hello, Brigader. You two know each other. You could say that. What are you doing here? I don't recall anything happening which the Red Steel Guard would need to be deployed for. I'm on leave. I came to honor the memory of my comrades. Scoundrels to be sure, but they fought by my side. If you're looking to take revenge for those who died during your exile, this is your chance. Your bro was a soldier on leave wouldn't be considered an attack on the military. It wasn't you who killed Selman and the others. Not directly. I remember what you did. That's enough for me. I see. What more can anyone ask for than to be remembered? Biltin, also known as the Festival of Fire, is scheduled to be revived in the coming days. The fire passing ritual will start in Oak Grove County. You're awfully quiet. Are you nervous? No, it just strikes me when we manage to turn what you see in the books into reality. On the last day of spring, we extinguish the fires in our homes. They come together to relight them at Beltane. Beltane? In the smoke of the bonfire and drifting ash, we welcome the coming of a new season and of new life. Your Highness, Low Shiny, the lighting ceremony will begin in a few minutes. Alright, thank you. Maybe I've waited too long for this. It feels no realer than a dream. I wanted to sing, Nemos, but you've already sung for me back in Nasayorsi. So this time, the flames in my hand will do the singing. One more thing, Your Highness. About Her Highness Eblana. Your Highness, it's time. Sorry, Nemos. We can speak after the ritual. The Draco steps forward. A stone platform, sculpted in the style of the ruins, serves as her lectern. She lights the bonfire upon it and turns around. From the square below her, many faces gaze up with bated breath. She takes a deep breath. 1,000 years ago, the Dracos of Victoria invaded Tara, creating the title of King Gael as an epithet of shame, robbing the nomadic Terrans of their freedom. "600 years ago, the reigning King Gael had no choice but to allow the Victorians to remake the royal capital in their own image. 200 years ago, the Ascent seized the crown of Victoria, but once again they trampled the dreams of the Terrans beneath their feet, such that even our language was almost lost to us. Now, Tara stands on her own. I recite this history of shame, not to fan the flames of hatred, but in defense of peace. Sing what songs of Victoria suffice to praise the beauty you see. Tell what tales in Terran will move the passions. We remember so that we might provide the living the dignity of life and the dead the promise of reunion. Throughout the cold night, we shall retain a warm flame. As such, I, Low Shiny Dublin, the last descendant of the Terran Dracos, I shall light this fire symbolizing new life. May it guide the way for all, whether living or departed." Enclosed you will find templates for nomadic city immigration forms. Signed, the Kingdom of Tara. This is treason. The King of Tara has long been one of the titles of the Victorian Emperor. Nothing in this letter denies it. To avoid conflict, the Red Dragon has indefinitely delayed the coronation so many are looking forward to. But in reality, the indecisive claimant, the corrupt oligarchs, and blockading army, and the flames of dissent, all these issues have been put to rest. For the first time in centuries, they proudly tell a new legend of King Gael. In the short term, the unrest has indeed been contained within Wellington's domain. With time, however, it can become a greater threat than any insurrection. Tara must not be allowed to secede from Victoria. As long as Wellington doesn't take his entire territory away on the nomadic city, the other dukes and I will continue negotiating with him. Yes, ma'am. I'll draft some long-term plans regarding that. Phew, it's finally over. Well done. Well done indeed. Thank you. So, what was it you wanted to say about Eblana before the ceremony? We never found her body. If she somehow survived, I worry that someday a completely different story will be told about the resurrection of the Red Dragon. What story? That it was no miracle, but the assassination of one dragon by another. Worse than that. I see. You're afraid that Eblana will return and paint the whole thing as a conspiracy I orchestrated. Our position is not unassailable. We both know that her body disappeared earlier that night, after you killed her the first time. What I dragged through the streets wasn't her body, but an empty coffin. Oh. I know. I also know that it was I who used the last spark of fire she left in her spear to ignite the coffin. It was I who left the city to parley with Wellington, laying out our plans in exchange for him delaying military action while they played out. It was I who walked into the fire the people had returned to Eblana. I who quenched and replaced the fire of death with the fire of life, and I who walked out of the fire in the end. We've known all this since the day on the balcony of Nasayorsi Citadel. Eblana had left us a puzzle with no solution. The only way out was a miracle. A miracle we scripted and directed. If anything, the true miracle was the Wakeman returning to the city. If Eblana hadn't awakened the exiled king, if Bridget hadn't delivered that message centuries overdue, if Morin hadn't persuaded them, with just the two of us, that miracle could never have occurred. So, what is there to fear at this point? Eblana has cut off any path leading away from the throne. All I can do is devote the rest of my days to Tara, and patiently await my judgment in some unknowable future. Nemos was dragging an empty coffin. Loshani was planning to resurrect the dragon the moment she first killed you. You're lying, you. I know, it was Wellington. He found the conscience and lifted the blockade on his own. You just won't give up, will you? The Iron Duke, with a conscience. Hilarious. You promised him that only good could come of your scheming. All I promised him on the Gestro was that I would change the direction of Tara, so long as Low Shiny was willing to return. The Red Dragon who breathes flames of death, the Spectre froze with his dead soldiers, Dublin with his blood and stained hands. Everything was fated to sink into darkness while the Terrans united under the banner of the one and only Red Dragon. Of course, His Grace was unaware that everyone in Nasa University was meant to die with the plan, but I knew. A city of doomed souls in exchange for Tara's lasting stability. Only good could come of it now. I should let the Duke isn't fond of those shining. Things could have gone even more smoothly otherwise. Sophistry, you lied to Wellington. Your plan was anything but harmless. And the people of Nasayarsi did live. To everyone's surprise. In exchange for their lives, Loshani reached for the scepter of power that she detested so much. She chose to write a saga, a novel, a miracle that would have been beneath her noble dignity. It was something only she could do. Something that wouldn't even have been possible even a few years ago. Would you have placed the miracle on the scales from the start? What if Loshani had failed? Then you wouldn't be sitting here enjoying your drink. I'm sure you've heard stories about what the Iron Duke does to whatever he considers an obstacle. Every story begins with an inspiration. Memories rush into the writer's mind like seawater at high tide. He struggles to break free only to find himself powerless against the oncoming tide. Ah, Red Dragon. You knew from the beginning. You almost destroyed Nasayorsi. You made a mockery of all Tara. Now, I must object to that. I simply fulfilled the promise. Is being true to one's word no longer a virtue? Even you yourself admitted that this was a happy ending. No, never. This isn't how the story ends. This isn't how my story is supposed to go. The writer sees a sliver of white. He falls to his knees and crosses along the ground, trying to collect the scattered sheets of paper that had flown loose. 1, 2, 3. He clutches them in his hand along with his pen. No. What would you like to write? Let me help you. No. The writer's shoulder tremors hysterically. Panicked, he begins to back off until his back hits rickety wall of the tavern. Grabbing the pen like a spear, or his pen like a spear, he begins to stab at the paper. Muttering under his breath, he only manages to cover them with scattered ink blots. Soon, even his muttering loses coherence. Gah. The commotion causes the drunken barkeep to come out from behind the counter and grab him by the collar. What you babbling about? Realizing he can no longer form words, the writer looks desperately towards the woman watching him with disinterest. He points at the woman's hands, then at his own mouth. The meaning was clear. You've lost your words. Perhaps you hit your head from excitement or had a minor stroke. Or perhaps it's because you saw something you believed in so firmly for so long shattered to pieces. The very thing that inspired you to join Dublin, caused you to stay at the victory party, made you turn back at Nasayorsi halfway. But it's time to wake up. With a trembling hand, the writer tries to write on his palm, but leaves only crooked, disjointed lines. He wrote a story for Tara, a complete story, not a collection of fragments. It's a good one, I like it. And I like it even more now that it belongs only to me, not to you. Sango Foyle, singer. No, writer. Sango Foyle, the last Dublinier. I look forward to the stories you'll tell me when Death reunites us. With one last glance at the writer, the woman tosses a few coins into the table and walks out of the tavern. A memory comes back to the writer. It was the same look Eblana gave him that night, a year and a half ago, when he decided to delay his report after the leader's shadow had already departed, in hopes of staying in both sides' good graces. What should I call you then? Oh, it's us. Whatever you're thinking, I am only a necklace here. Unless you too find the side sheet of paper to hold no power whatsoever. Operator Necras. If you find the title necessary, erudite. For my part, I'm more curious about your lack of reaction upon hearing the whole story. I already heard the story. Ah, I laughed at my part, I see. First, a private letter from Nasa received, then fragments through official channels. Loshine is getting better at this. Then I presume she told you all about me, which is why you're willing to sit down with me by yourself and hear out this patchwork tale of illusions and insinuations. She been up a lot. No, she has yet to find your body. She is unaware you're in a position to tell stories. That makes your courage all the more admirable. And I mustn't neglect to give you credit to Low Shiny where it's due. She's more than just a qualified dance partner now. She's ready to take the lead. I do hope she enjoys herself. Sounds like you like your new powers. Of course I do. The powers of the dead aren't necessarily greater than those of the living, but they are more lasting and harder to check. But you'll soon grow bored of them, like everything else you've ever had. Followers, martyrs, dominion, status. Life is short, but death is long, erudite. There are still so many interesting people in the mortal realm. That alone is reason enough for me to await them in death. So you gave Reed your old toys. A cutting question, erudite, but I'll allow it. And not only because your accusation is astute, if prejudiced, but also because you are one of the interesting people I mentioned. What are you intending? What makes me interesting? I am inseparable from death. Is it not the natural order of things that those like me should be drawn to Rhodes Island? I was drawn, so I came. This place is always covered in the scent of death. After all, especially around you, my dear erudite. I don't understand. You will someday. Interesting line. When the tides erupt and the night of death descends, you will be grateful for my presence, so long as I do not mock your predicament. Covered around the scent of death. As for right now, I am simply the shadow of Terra's leader. Just neck rest, nothing more. Interesting. Okay. Huh. So I guess that wraps up, everything with Reed and Eblana, which I always kind of assumed Eblana's whole plot throughout all the Victoria arc and everything. It was all leading up as a big setup for Reed in some way, shape, or form. Because there was hints, there was bits here and there where, it kind of felt like she had plans more for Reed. For Reed more than anything. But yeah. All in all, this event, it was a little bit confusing, more so than other events, just because of the whole storytelling narrative. I'll probably have to read a recap just to make sure I got everything down. Cause I still got a few questions in my head, but I always go back and reread stuff just to make sure I get everything. Cause you miss out on one detail and other stuff down the line doesn't make sense in this game. But anyways, yeah, that's it for the Elegies or Ashes. And with that, I guess we'll wait for the next event, which is... What is the next event? Is the main chapter next? October? It might be. Is chapter 15 next? Oh, that'll be crazy. Dude, I'm so excited for chapter 15. You have no idea. But anyways, thanks to anyone who stopped by. And yeah. Peace, good night, till next one. Which I think, like I said, will be chapter 15. I'll definitely be there for that. But yeah, peace.